the iconic commercial where you had
the Mac versus PC.
Yeah. Well, yeah, where she's like throwing. It was like almost like the throwback to the dystopian.
That one.
Commercial.
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah.
She's throwing the anvil or whatever it is through the giant screen. The George Orwellian 1984.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like they're less bold with stuff like that now, though.
Yeah.
It's very cookie cutter, like.
Yeah, their HomePod commercial got some like props for being way cool.
What was it again?
It was, I thought it was weird, but like people were, it was this woman comes home and asks the HomePod to play music, and then all of a sudden the walls start moving.
To switch all electronic devices to silent mode. Thank you.
Yeah. I do really like though the unlock with your face ones where she's unlocked, like the people are unlocking all sorts of stuff with their face just randomly in real life. Have you guys seen that spot before?
No,
It's a pretty good one. Yeah, you have plenty of space. It's like a luxury vehicle back here.
Nice, alright, sweet.
You could recline in that piece, which is fine.
I think the last one I really liked was was the MacBook Air, the pencil where they had, or was that an iPad? Maybe it was the iPad. I don't know.
You need to complete your thoughts.
It was just a pencil on a table.
Okay. Oh yeah. And they were comparing the width of the pencil to the width of the
Either
I can't remember which one.
It was either the iPad Pro, or it was a MacBook. That was a good one.
I don't know. But yeah, they do have a history of like fantastic ads.
Oh yeah, it's like it just shows the pencil. This tool has revolutionized the world, and then it like he picks up the pencil and it's it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Something like that.
That was awesome.
So thanks everybody who's tuning in, who on our Twitch channel this morning. In the room here, we can introduce ourselves. I'm Jake Rossman, the social media manager for Digital Trends. In front of me, Kim Wetzel.
Are you going to introduce me?
Yeah.
Okay.
He gave you the space for it.
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah, you should jump in. You gotta hop
I'm
on.
Kim Wetzel. I'm the home editor here.
I'm Luke. I'm the associate editor in computing.
I'm Marie. I'm one of the admins here.
Responsible for ripping out all airports ever installed.
You want to talk dongle? Talk dongle.
Hashtag dongle fun.
Can we talk about why they're called dongles? Worst word ever.
Worst word ever?
Dongle.
Oh, it's great.
Dongle.
You dongle.
I'm gonna start
Come on, you
calling
dongle.
people.
You dongle?
You're a total dongle.
Oh, you dongle. That's not true.
We gotta make that a thing.
We totally do. Hashtag dongle.
And if you do want to follow us along throughout the keynote, we are tweeting. We have a Twitter list through Digital Trends, just called WWDC 18. Jeremy Kaplan, who is attending the event from Digital Trends, our editor-in-chief, will be tweeting, and his tweets will follow into that Twitter list as well. Shoot us any questions. You'll see our usernames on that Twitter list as well. It looks like they're just about to begin here, so we are going to just listen for a few minutes. At least the music ended.
I mean something.
Yeah, something's happening.
I think it just got quieter.
The false quiet.
Here we go.
Just can't even take it.
Some oohs and ahs. Ooh, apple guys.
Yay!
Northern California. It is. Yes. Is this behind? This is a little behind. Yep.
That's weird. Yeah, my stream's like a full 30 seconds.
Really?
Maybe try reloading it.
I'm gonna miss the intro.
Northern California's Bay
here is the stage for a truly remarkable natural occurrence.
Treacherapsis.
Every year, a great migration is made by one of the world's most mysterious species. To reach this utopian destination, these unique mammals will instinctively embark on a nomadic journey from all corners of
I like that they're going comedic with
Terapsis,
this because I was like,
or as it is more commonly known,
Who are you calling?
the developer.
Wow, that beard.
Luscious locks.
11 and a half months of hibernation has taken its toll.
We're all
yeah, we're all different
And the
spots.
sun
Should we
is
just go on?
harsh as these
Probably.
nocturnal cave-dwelling
Because
creatures
I'm
must
ahead of
greet
the main street.
daylight. For most, this momentous migration is their first, while for a select few, the pilgrimage
Yeah, I
is
saw
a
that beard like a
time-honored
minute.
tradition.
Come on, Apple.
Originating in the remote garages of Silicon Valley, developers evolved at an unprecedented speed. To understand how, we must observe them here, in their sacred temple.
There's like funny parts and I have to wait like 10
Don't
seconds.
laugh
And
yet.
Yeah,
so
you have to
begins.
delay it by 10 seconds to laugh.
Should I go? I don't know how to do
As developers congregate at the event, access to the herd can be hard to come by.
It's so far behind
For
our
some,
laptops.
blending in is easier said than done. To distinguish themselves, developers identify each other through decorative tribal symbols. These extraordinary plumages are designed to entice and attract.
Is this footage from just now?
Here, a pack of rogue younglings at play. The safety of numbers allows them to... Oh, wait a moment. They have now entrapped an indigenous silver-crested king developer. Although tempting, one may look at, but not touch, the mane. The feeding frenzy at the great gathering. Moving in like a pack of famished piranhas, this frugal breed will spare no morsel. Those who can pull rank on prime cuts. The event culminates in what is known as the keynote. As the doors open, a behavioral anomaly can be found. Developers running at full speed, battling to secure a
Funny,
coveted
but it's
front
also
row
a
seat.
self-congratulatory.
Following
been
the
to WWDC,
ceremony,
but I
the
can't
latest
imagine
beta
what
software
Well,
is
Jeremy was
unleashed.
saying he was queuing
Its
up to
nature
get in the
at its
actual
cruelest.
Right, he's on
Only
line
the
1 to get into
strongest
line 2 to
apps
get
will
into line
survive.
3.
The many languages of the developer are a mystery to modern science. Just look at these letters, symbols, formulas, and mumbled jargon. Only these enlightened shamans can decode their true meaning. The creative bonds formed during the Great Migration
move on.
will enable these geniuses to unlock our future world. The developer is, no doubt, a species scientists will continue to study for millennia.
It was.
Scattered.
Good morning. Good morning. I hear the student developers. Good morning and welcome to WWDC 2018. It is great to be back in San Jose with everyone. We have developers here from all over the world this morning, from 77 countries. That's more than ever before. And I couldn't be happier to announce that we now have over 20 million Apple developers around the world. That's more than ever before. We've got 6,000 folks in the hall this morning. Welcome. And many millions more watching online. Now, the way that developers get to share their amazing work is through the App Store. Your creativity and hard work have made the App Store the best place to get the very best apps. next month, the App Store turns 10. And in these 10 years, the App Store has fundamentally changed the way we all live. It's enabled countless new companies, created tens of millions of jobs, spawned entirely new industries, and it has forever changed our lives. The App Store is the world's largest app marketplace.
I like their business.
And we now welcome over 500 million weekly visitors. This is mind-blowing. It's the most incredible app marketplace that the world has ever seen. We're also happy to announce that this week, we're going to achieve another huge milestone. The money that developers have earned through the App Store will top $100 billion. This is beyond remarkable. The App Store is clearly the best place for you to be rewarded for your hard work and creativity. Now, at Apple, we know that developers are a powerful group of creators. They can achieve and they can develop anything that they can imagine with their code. We want more people to learn the power of code. And it all starts with Swift and Swift Playgrounds. We created Swift to make it easy, to make it so easy to learn to code that it was as easy as our products are to use. Swift is extremely popular. In fact, it's the fastest growing programming language out there. Now, Apple developers are already using it in huge numbers. In fact, over 350,000 apps have been written in Swift on the App Store. Now, we believe that coding is an essential skill and believe it should be offered by every school in the world. Now, learning to code has so many benefits. It develops problem solving and critical thinking skills. That's why we created Everyone Can Code, with free teaching and learning resources so that everyone could learn to code. It's been so successful and is now available to tens of millions of students around the world. Just imagine what this new generation of coders will create. Whatever it is, I'm sure that it's going to change the world. At Apple, changing the world and making it a better place is what it's all about for us. We aim to put the customer at the center of everything that we do. That's why, together with you, the developer community, we're working hard to provide new and better experiences for our customers to help them live a better day. And these experiences, of course, are expressed through our 4 amazing platforms. Today is all about software, and we've got some very exciting updates across all 4 platforms.
I was just thinking that.
We're going to get started with iOS.
Watching this for no reason.
iOS embodies our philosophy of putting the customer at the center of everything that we design. Every year, we deliver a major iOS update that brings awesome new features that will impact the world. To tell you all about what we have planned for this year, I'd like to introduce Craig Federighi. Craig.
Craig is probably the best.
Hey, good morning. All right. Well, our next big release of iOS is, you guessed it, iOS 12. Now, our customers, of course, are going to receive iOS 12 as a free software update. Now, it's easy to forget now, but iOS pioneered this approach of helping you get more out of the device you already own through free updates. And some of those updates have been really quite profound, like the App Store, giving us a whole new way to discover and download apps. It itself was delivered via software update, as were the folders we use to organize those apps. And can you imagine living without Find My iPhone or iMessage with its end-to-end securely encrypted messaging, or the revolution in iPad productivity with slide over, split view, and drag and drop, or AR, changing the way we interact with the world around us, all delivered via software updates. And of course, we want to get these improvements to as many of our customers as possible. iOS 11 supports devices that were introduced as far back as 2013, like the iPhone 5S. And we just love the way customers race to update to our newest releases. In fact, half of our customers upgraded to iOS 11 in just 7 weeks. It's incredible. Now, as we stand here today, 81% of our over 1 billion active iOS devices are running our latest release.
2 hours?
And now, when you look at the competition, well,
It's
hard to say they really have a software update model.
I mean, it's true, but it's...
So iOS has the fastest adoption of any operating system. But what's much more important to us is customer satisfaction. And we're thrilled to report that customer sat for iOS 11 is at 95%. Now, delivering all of these features across such a wide range of devices while maintaining high performance is a challenge we take really seriously. And so for iOS 12, we are doubling down on performance. We're working top to bottom, making improvements to make your device faster and more responsive. And because we want these changes to be available to the full range of our customers, iOS 12 will be available on all the same devices as iOS 11. This is the largest base ever supported by an Apple release. And we're focusing our efforts especially on the oldest devices. And while it's still early days, we're really pleased with some of the results we're seeing. And so I'd like to share some with you. And I'm going to use an example of a popular phone from a few years ago. This is the iPhone 6 Plus. Now on that device, iOS 12 delivers a number of improvements across common operations. You'll see that apps launch up to 40% faster. The keyboard can come up to 50% faster, and you can slide to take a photo at up to 70% faster. Now, our deepest focus this year is optimizing the system when it's under load. And that's where you need performance the most and where iOS 12 really shines. Now, we put iOS 12 through our stress test, and we saw in those conditions, Share Sheet coming up twice as fast and apps launching twice as fast. These are big, big improvements. Now, this took changes, thank you very much. This took improvements in many, many places in the system. And I want to highlight just one, and it starts with the silicon. You know, our tight collaboration with our chip team has enabled us to optimize iOS across the full range of our A-series silicon. Now, CPUs traditionally respond to increased demand for performance by slowly ramping up their clock speed. Well, now in iOS 12, we're much smarter. When we detect that you need a burst of performance, like when you begin scrolling or launching an app, we ramp up processor performance instantly to its highest states, delivering high performance, and then ramp it down just as fast to preserve battery life. Now, these are just some of the improvements that are coming to not just our older devices, but the full range of devices. And that's a quick update on performance. Now, if this is all we've done in iOS 12, I think it would be a great release. But we've done more, much more. And we have a lot to cover today, and it starts with augmented reality. You know,
No, it's not yet.
Yeah. Now, AR is transformational technology. By bringing experiences into the real world,
It's really the only reason
it
why
enables all kinds of new experiences, changing the way we have fun and the way we work. And in iOS 12, we wanted to make an easy way to experience AR across the system. And to do that, we got together with some of the greatest minds in 3D at Pixar. And together, we created a new file format for AR. It's called USDZ. And it's a compact single file format that's optimized for sharing while retaining great 3D graphics and even animations. Now, you can use USDZ across the system, from the Files app to Safari, to even sharing them over messages and mail. And what's great is you can place these 3D objects into the real world. It's something that's like AR Quick Look. It's really awesome. Now, we want all kinds of creatives to be able to create content for AR. And so we're working with the leading companies for 3D tools and 3D libraries to bring their support for USDZ. Now, one company that's been all in on USDZ and ARKit is Adobe. And to tell you about what they're up to, I'd like to invite Abe Parasnis, their CTO, to the stage. Abe.
Thank you. Thanks, Craig. It's great to be here this morning. So at Adobe, we believe augmented reality is an incredibly important technology. And with ARKit, Apple is by far the most powerful platform for AR. So earlier, Craig talked about USDZ format. It's actually a pretty big deal. There is now a way to deliver AR experiences across the entire iOS experience. And so today, we are actually announcing that we are going to bring native USDZ support to Adobe's Creative Cloud. With Creative Cloud, designers and developers will now be able to use familiar apps that they know and love, like Photoshop or Dimension, to create amazing AR content and bring it easily via USDZ. And of course, we're not going to stop there. We are going to bring the power of immersive design to Creative Cloud with a new set of services and applications, including a brand new iOS application that's going to let all of you design amazing AR experiences quickly. So you will be able to bring in images, videos, text, any object from Creative Cloud directly into a native AR environment. In fact, for the first time with Creative Cloud and iOS, you will have a what you see is what you get editing in AR. It's pretty cool. So come join us this afternoon, State of the Union, where we're going to give you a sneak peek of some of these new immersive design tools for the first time. Thanks. Back to you, Craig.
Thank you, Abe. Now, a critical part of enabling AR is accurate measurement. And fortunately, the precise calibration of sensors in iOS devices and our tight hardware-software integration mean that we do this really well. And we wanted to enable everyone to take advantage of this capability. So we're introducing a new app, and it's called Measure. It makes it really easy to measure objects, detect rectangles and get their dimensions, and measure lines along surfaces. And I'd like to show it to you now. Now, in looking for something to measure, I ended up digging through the attic and came upon my old suitcase from my traveling days in college. A lot of memories in here. Now, I'm actually in the Measure app. You see, I can easily measure along this suitcase by just
This is way
tapping
cool.
and dragging out a line like that.
This is like
and check that out.
Part of the
It's a measurement.
Last thing the phone can measure.
Now,
Right?
what's really cool is I can extend these measurements. So I can just tap, drag along another
That's
edge,
way cool
just
if it
like
actually
that.
works accurately.
Even take it into full
Yeah, you can
3D.
see it. You can see it, recognizing the
dragging down
the
to the
angles
bottom,
and stuff.
Did they
like
have a name
that.
for this?
Isn't that
Measure,
cool?
measure.
Measure.
Now, I mentioned that we could automatically detect rectangles and show you dimensions of objects. So I have a photo here, actually. It's one my mom always wanted me to travel with of me as a baby. And so,
Same
you see,
haircut?
what I can do with Measure is it automatically detects the dimensions of that photo.
Oh, yeah.
I can just tap, and get, oh yeah, cute little baby, wasn't I? And you can get measurements just like that. It's really fantastic.
That's like a super practical.
Now, I'd like to turn now to USDZ and its support throughout the system. You know, you can experience USDZ in so many places, and one of those places is news. Now, here's an article, and we're all accustomed to seeing images in news articles, but check this out. Here you see a USDZ asset, and I can just tap on this little 3D control and jump right in and experience it. You can see the amazing animations that are possible, and of course, it's fully interactive. So I can zoom in and pan. Isn't that amazing? Now, USDZ is also great in the web. So here I am at the Fender website, and they actually let you configure your guitar with the kind of finish and pickguard that you want. So I can select configuration option here, and then I can see the guitar I've configured. So I'm just going to tap in. Of course, I can see the guitar here, but wouldn't it be cool if I could see it in the real world, in its real size? Well, there it is. Check that out. I think I'm going to capture that for posterity. And that's a quick look at USDZ and Measure in iOS 12. Next, thank you. Next, I'd like to talk about the key technology behind these augmented reality experiences, and that's ARKit. ARKit opens up the world of AR to hundreds of millions of users, making it the world's largest AR platform by far. And we're on a relentless pace of advancement with AR, and that continues today with ARKit 2. ARKit 2 delivers advances with improved face tracking, more realistic rendering, and support for 3D object detection and persistence, which enables launching into AR experiences associated with a particular object or physical space, like starting a game built around a physical toy, or having a physical classroom serve as the foundation for a lesson that was authored in AR. But probably best is the support for shared experiences. Now, this delivers true multi-user augmented reality. You and the people around you will be able to see your own perspective on a common virtual environment. And to help all you developers get started, we created this sample app written in Swift that you'll all be getting today. Now, check out how both players and even a third observer can all experience the same environment in real time. It's really fun. Now, we've also brought in a select few developers into our labs over the last couple weeks working with ARKit, and they love it. Now, one of them is Lego, and what they've done is so fun, you just need to see it. So I'm pleased to invite Martin Sanders, Director of Innovation of Lego, to the stage to give you a live demonstration.
At Lego?
Martin.
That's great.
That's so cool. It's like getting in the title
Creating
Futurist.
and playing with physical
As
Lego
Lego,
sets
though. Yeah.
brings great joy to millions of children and Lego fans
such a cool job.
all over the world. And now, with ARKit 2, we get to expand those creative possibilities like never before and take things beyond the physical. What we try to do is combine physical and digital together to really open up those creative play possibilities. Because our Lego sets are really the start point for all of those children's imaginations. And when we get a chance to really embed ARKit 2, it takes it to the next level. Let me show you what I mean. Here we have Assembly Square. It's one of our Lego creator sets. And already has so many great details, it's awesome to play with. But wouldn't it be great if we could take things even further? Well now, with 3D object detection, we get to recognize our models and bring them to life. And just look at all of those rich details we can now bring into our sets.
Full model built.
Because when we combine physical and digital together like this, it really opens up those creative play possibilities. And there's so much to do here. If you see these icons above people and objects, well, they represent missions and stories that we can explore.
Right. I
And
would
with a
not
world
want
as
to.
rich and as
They do,
immersive
but
as
I would
this, who
prefer my
wants to
son
play?
just
So let's add a
use
character.
regular
How
Legos.
about this little guy here.
Welcome back. Let's go on an adventure.
Awesome. Let's go on an adventure. But going on an adventure with friends is often way more fun. So Anders, why don't you jump on in here?
I'm always up for an adventure.
Perfect. Because now,
well, we're getting really meta right
Kit
now.
2's multi-user support, we get to play
Lego.
with up to 4 friends.
So that's a real Lego
in the same space
that they just put on the table.
Let's go ahead and add a few things from our collection, Anders.
So there's two components. You build the Lego structure.
Very nice. I like it. How about taking this for a spin?
Oh, that's cool.
Because just look at all
you
those
can get
rich
in and
details
drive
you can
around
see
it.
on the outside of the building, and even on the inside.
What? Wait.
Yeah, I think I'm going to add this guy. He's definitely going to keep the bank safe.
Does it come with a Will Arnett voice?
Oh look, my character's hungry. Let's take him over to the bakery. Well, let's see what they have. Because now with AR Kit 2, we get to see
Where Lego
inside our
creates the
physical
Sims.
creations.
Yeah,
and
that's
check
kind
out
of what
all
it
the
feels
details
like.
that were hidden before.
Have a Lego
Got a ballerina, little music
Oh,
session
I
going
thought
on.
you were like, at
And,
first I thought she was like in a
bathrooms.
bathtub.
Oops, sorry.
Like, this is
Moving on.
like Lego getting
Another plate trip in the
inappropriate.
bakery. Let's see what happens when I click
We
on
opened
this.
up the wrong room in the hotel.
That doesn't look too good. Anders,
Whoa.
situation, I'm going to need your help over here.
Okay. I've got a fire truck.
Perfect. You put out those flames while...
Oh, this is cool,
Oh dear.
guys.
Somebody's got themselves
would've
trapped
loved
on the roof.
I would rather.
So I'm going to use this helicopter
There's something
to go and pick up these clowns.
Well, yeah, I understand. I mean, part of like most of the fun when you're building the bricks
I
is
get them
actually
down
the
there,
building
Alice.
process. But once it's built, there's
Cannot
not a
read
whole
it.
lot of
These guys are
interaction with
safe.
it afterwards. So this adds that next
And the
layer.
flames look like they're almost out.
Also, I had a Lego video game growing up,
Perfect.
and it was lame.
We did it.
And they loved it still. And it was not as
Yeah.
cool.
What?
Oh man, just wait though for in-app purchases, and then your kid's just like buying like, it's just like, oh, I want that within my world too.
It just auto ships the next set to your
Yeah.
house.
Because with AR Kit
Oops.
2, we get to save our entire world back into our physical set and pick up where we left off.
Lego is such a cool, like, it's like one of those companies that you think would have, like,
But what makes this truly
it could have just been
amazing
like a really
is that
lame
with just a
old
single
company that
Lego
kids didn't
creation
know
and
about
AR
anymore. Yeah,
Kit
but
2
somehow it's remained
really
super
opens up those
relevant.
creative play possibilities. So look out for more Lego AR experiences in the App Store
It
later
is
this year.
amazing
Thank
how
you very much,
Lego's
everybody.
really stepped up.
Isn't that great?
Done all kinds of
So
cool
that's
things.
because they have
AR
Chief
iOS
Innovator.
12.
That's right.
Next,
Yeah.
I'd like to turn to photos. You know, over 1 trillion photos are captured on iPhone each year. And photos is the best way to relive and share those moments. This year, we're making photos even better, and it starts with search. Search has powerful object and scene recognition. It lets you search for photos based on things like searching for cars, or dogs, or flowers, and it's a great way to explore your library. But in iOS 12, search now starts working for you even before you start typing with search suggestions. It'll highlight things for you like key moments and people that are important to you, places where you've taken some great photos, and even categories of photos like hiking and water sports. And search is much more powerful than ever. You can search for places by business name. So you can search for SF MoMA or even a broad category like museum. And Photos indexes over 4 million events by time and place, things like sporting events and concerts, and so you can search for them and find photos you took at those events. And search is super powerful. You can now search for multiple search terms, like surfing and vacation, and even get suggestions for additional search terms to help you find exactly what you're looking for. And now in iOS 12, we have an all-new tab. It's called For You. And with For You, you have all of your memories, those great memory movies, but more, like featured photos, highlighting a photo that you took on this day in past years. And effect suggestions, for instance, suggesting looping a live photo or applying a new portrait effect to one of your portrait photos. And we even highlight your shared album activity.
Like we're gonna do some
Now,
DT
when it comes to
streams,
sharing,
like,
there are many
yeah,
ways you
doing
can
the
share
AR
photos.
stuff.
But our focus is on sharing
Right, Jace?
great photos with the people you care about most.
A little
That's
behind
why
on
this
that
year
shit.
in For You, we've added sharing suggestions. So imagine you've gone out for a great dinner with some friends and you took some photos. Well, afterwards in For You, you'll see a suggestion like this to share those photos.
Yeah, this
you
is like
tap in,
exactly like
you'll see that Photos
the Photos
is
app,
even recommending a set of photos that from that set that you might want to share, and suggests who you might want to share them with, based in part by the people that appeared in the photos. When you share them, they're shared at full resolution out of your iCloud photo library.
Unless somebody in your group
when your
has an
friend
Android
receives
phone,
them,
and then
something really
they just
magical
all
happens.
Yeah,
Their
everything
phone
is
searches their libraries for other photos they took at that event and suggests that they share them back to you, so you both can end up with the full set.
So lame on Android. I hate that. It says, this person
Now,
likes
this is
this
built
photo.
around
Or
iMessage,
so-and-so
of course,
loved it,
it's
it just
private
like
using end-to-end
mild
encryption,
text.
and all
What?
of those smarts are done with on-device machine learning. So that's your quick update on Photos in iOS 12. And next,
They're like 3 years behind on
let's turn to Siri. Now, Siri is by far the world's most used digital assistant, with over 10 billion requests processed per month. And because Siri works across all your devices, it's always there to help you through your day getting things done. Now, we all know that Siri works with many third-party apps for things like messaging, ride sharing, and payments. But we wanted to make Siri able to do much more for you. And we're doing that by taking advantage of the power of apps with a new feature we call shortcuts. Now, with shortcuts, any app can expose quick actions to Siri. Let's look at some examples. Now, say you have the Tile app because you're always losing your keys. Well, the Tile app can expose the option to add a shortcut to Siri. You can assign your own phrase, such as, I lost my keys, would be a good choice. And when you then say it, Siri will automatically activate Tile and show you right in the Siri UI, start ringing your Tile just like that.
See, I like this because it's super specific and you can
Of course, there's so
say
many
exactly
uses for
what you
this
want it
kind of
to do, and
thing.
it
You could
does
say
exactly-
game
you know
time
it'll
to get
do
your
exactly
team's
what you
schedule from TeamSnap, or help me relax to kick off a
It's gonna
meditation.
take some time setting
or
it up.
order my groceries.
Yeah, but
to order
that's so
your
much more
usual-
useful to me, I think.
You know, with millions of apps,
guessing
Shortcut
and,
enables
like,
incredible possibilities for how you use Siri. Now, as you know, Siri is more than just a voice. Siri's working all the time in the background to make proactive suggestions for you, even before you ask. And now, with shortcuts, Siri can do so much more. So for instance, let's say you order a coffee every morning at Phil's before you go to work.
Yeah, but look.
Well, now Siri can suggest right on your lock screen that you do that. You tap on it, and you can place the order right from there.
This is funny. I
Or
was
when
actually
you get to
just
the
playing
gym,
with their
you use
new app,
Active to
or
track
not new,
workouts.
but their app
Well, that suggestion will
workflow,
appear
which
right
is
on your lock
basically
screen.
a lot of this.
And this even works when
I
you
think this
pull
is
down
the
into
previous-
search.
workflow's the
You'll get
previous
great
iteration, and the
suggestions. Like
shortcuts
say
is
you're
going
running
to be,
late for a
like
meeting.
the next generation
Well, Siri
of
will
that app.
suggest you
It's
text
actually
the meeting
built in
organizer.
to Siri versus
Or when you
it
go to the
being a
movie,
standalone app.
suggest
it's
that you
kind of
turn
in
on
beta
Do Not
version.
Disturb. That's just being considerate.
We actually had an
And
article up this morning.
Remind
on
you to call
workflow
grandma on her birthday.
from the
Just tap,
Working with the
and it'll
Unlocker.
dial the call for you. Now, we think we're all going to really enjoy using shortcuts. And so we went a step further. We wanted to let you create your own shortcuts as users of multiple steps across multiple applications. And we're doing it with a new Shortcuts app. So with the Shortcuts app, you could do something like create a shortcut for surf time. And it could go get you the surf report,
basically the new
look up the current
workflow. It's
weather,
like
get you the
rebranding.
ETA to the beach, and even create a reminder for you to put on sunscreen when you get there. Now, it's all done with simple drag and drop steps in the Shortcuts editor right here. It's really easy. Now, to show you how shortcuts can streamline your day, I'd like to invite one of our leaders from our Siri Shortcuts project, Kim Beverett, to the stage to give you a live demo. Kim.
Wait, you can't just ask Siri to set a reminder for you?
You can, but
I
I
am
think this
so
is...
stoked
Well, how's
to
this
show you
different?
Siri shortcuts. To do that, I'm going to walk you
I think
through
it
my
might
day.
go through,
So
like,
imagine it's
specific
the morning,
apps.
I'm headed
You
to
can have
work,
specific
and I
apps
pick
to
up my
do
phone,
things.
and I see
You can't
this
ask
suggestion
specific
from Phil's
apps.
Coffee.
Like,
Siri has
Like,
learned that I do this
with
most
Amazon
mornings, so
Alexa or
now I
Google
can just
Assistant,
tap
you
on the
can ask
suggestion, and
another
I see
app,
all the
just
details I
verbally.
need to confirm my perfect mint mojito
I guess
right
we'll
here on the lock
listen.
screen
I'll
without
listen
even
more.
going into the app. So let's get caffeinated.
Let's just talk about what
And
we
I'm
think
done.
she's going to say without listening to what she's actually saying.
Fast forward a little bit, and I'm sitting at my desk at my office, and I need to know when my next meeting is. I'll go to the Up Next widget,
Another app.
and it looks like I'm running a little late for a rather important meeting, so I should probably let someone know. And it looks like Shortcuts is a few steps ahead of me. I could call into the meeting, or I could let the organizer know that I'm running late. I should probably tell Ari what's up. That looks like just what I want to say. Sorry, Ari. Let's send it. Perfect. I also want to show you how you can add a shortcut to Siri. So let's take a look at Kayak. I keep all of my travel details in Kayak. Most important is my post-WWDC relaxation trip to Los Angeles. You can see I've got my flight, my hotel, all the details, everything I need, but what I really want is to be able to use this and get to this information with my voice while I'm on the go. So let's head back, and I can just tap Add to Siri, record my custom phrase, travel plans, and I am done. So now, when I land at the airport and I'm about to get in the cab and I could really use that hotel address, I can just say, travel plans.
Kayak says, your hotel is at 929 South Broadway. You can check in after 3 p.m.
Isn't that cool?
This is really the
Pretty cool.
Google doesn't let you actually set
So
up
I
this
would
kind
love
of
to be on
thing.
that
It just
vacation,
wants
but I
you
should,
to-
I don't know,
wants to be able
probably
to know.
finish this demo. So let's head back to work, and I can show you how the Shortcuts app can help me with my commute home. We start in the gallery, where there's hundreds of pre-made shortcuts that you can download, or we can hop over to the library, and I've got a bunch of shortcuts here, but I want to show you my heading home shortcut. You can see that it's just really a series of steps. It grabs my location and my travel time, and it sends my ETA to my roommate. It sets my HomeKit thermostat to 70 degrees, and it turns on my fan. And last, it gets directions home with Apple Maps with the best route to avoid traffic. Now, this is already pretty cool, but I happen to be an NPR News junkie, so I should probably just add that to my shortcut to save me some trouble on the ride home. Let's tap Search. And there's a bunch I can add here, but I can just tap Siri Suggestions, and there it is, Play KQED Radio.
Yeah, I have to keep-
Drag this in, drop it, and we're set. I've already added this shortcut to Siri with the custom phrase heading home, so now, whenever I leave work, I can just say, heading home.
You will get there in 1 hour. I sent a message to Cheryl. Your thermostat is set to 70 degrees, and I turned on the fan, playing KQED radio.
Right?
It actually is a lot.
That's Siri
Just like
Shortcuts in
for
iOS
most people,
12.
like,
Thank you so much.
You can kind of put a whole schedule on it. But yeah, Google's method would probably be like, oh, I see that you're heading home.
And that's Siri Shortcuts. It works on iPhone and iPad, and of course you can run your shortcuts from your HomePod and your Apple Watch. That's your quick update on Siri. Next, let's talk about apps. And to tell you about the latest, I'm going to hand it off to Susan. Susan.
Hello. Thanks, Craig, and it is so great to be here. I'm excited to tell you about some great updates in some of our most popular apps, starting with one of my favorites, News. So, News is a personalized feed where you can see all the stories you want to read pulled together from trusted sources. And our top stories are handpicked by the Apple News editorial team to make a great collection of curated content. With our new Browse tab, you can discover new channels and topics, and we've made it even easier to jump to your favorites, because that's why they're your favorites, right? News shines on the iPad. We've added a new sidebar, and it's a great way to navigate. It makes it easy, and I think fun, to dig into the areas you're most interested in. So that's News. Now, we've completely rebuilt the Stocks app, and it's got a beautiful new design. Of course, you can still see the stock prices and the changes at a glance, but we've added spark lines, those little charts, that show the stock performance throughout the day. And that's cool, but are you ready? We are so excited to announce we're bringing Apple News to Stocks. I'm really excited about that. And the top stories in Stocks features business news, right? Curated by the Apple News editors. It's pretty terrific. You can tap on any stock to get a more detailed view, so you can see an interactive chart that now includes after-hours pricing.
Yeah.
And you see relevant headlines from Apple News curated by our Apple News editors. So it looks great. And if you tap on one of those headlines, you'll see the full article without leaving the app. And of course, it's formatted to look gorgeous on the iPhone. Now, with iOS 12, we're bringing Stocks to iPad. It's pretty great, and we take advantage of the larger display, so you can keep your eye on your stocks on the left while you browse through your financial news. It's a pretty great experience.
The generic mobile one that
Next up, voice memos. We've also completely rebuilt voice memos to make it even easier to use. And we're bringing voice memos to the iPad for the first time. Importantly, we've also added iCloud support, so your recording stay in sync across all your devices. We think iPad users are just gonna love this. And we think that iBooks is the best way to discover and experience ebooks.
I feel like with Google, we were just like, oh my god, it's so cool, blah, blah, blah. And this, I'm like,
all new design.
Okay, so
and we think the update is so
awesome
great
about it.
We're calling it Apple Books, a new name. Oh my gosh, Apple Books. Very dramatic.
Whoa, yeah, dramatically branding.
They're one by one getting
Apple
rid of the
Books has some
I
great
brand.
new features. For example, reading now.
Apple phone
with a
is coming.
preview that makes it
They
really
changed
easy
from
for you to
iPhone
pick
to
up
Apple
reading
phone.
right where you left off.
Apple Pad.
And there's so much more,
That one is really
including a stunning new store
Sounds
that
like a
makes
hygiene
browsing
issue.
through your
Yeah.
ebooks and audiobooks better than ever. We love these updates, and we think you will too. But we also have a smart and safe way to use your apps in the car. I think you know I'm talking about CarPlay. CarPlay already supports third-party audio and voice messaging, voice calling, and messaging apps. Probably know that.
Voice memos
But what
on
you might not know is with iOS
Stocks
12,
on CarPlay.
CarPlay will also support third-party navigation apps. So now you have even more choices when you use CarPlay. That is a really quick look at some of our app dates. And Craig, back to you.
App dates?
Thank you, Susan. Well, now I'd like to take a moment to talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds.
Sorry, I turned off
iPhone
my
and
live
iPad
stream.
are
I'm
some
just
of the most
listening
powerful
to Twitch
tools
now, so I'm like
ever
10 seconds
created
ahead of you. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Exploring, and keeping in touch. But some apps demand more of our attention than we might even realize. They beg us to use our phone when we really should be occupying ourselves with something else. They send us flurries of notifications, trying to draw us in for fear of missing out. And some of us,
How many people actually use
it's become such a habit that, we might not even recognize just how distracted we've become. Well, we've thought deeply about this. And today, we're announcing a comprehensive set of built-in features to help you limit distraction, focus, and understand how you're spending your time.
And just fix your notifications.
Balance the many things that are important.
So they're
Now, it starts with Do Not Disturb. There are times of the day, or times when you just don't want to be disturbed, and one of those, of course, is at night. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, and you look at your phone, maybe just to check the time, and you're confronted with something like this. Barrage of notifications that spin you up and keep you from falling back asleep. And so we're introducing Do Not Disturb during bedtime, where all you'll see is this. nothing to get you spun up. And in the morning, yeah. In the morning, when you wake up, you're gently eased into your day. You can tap when you want to start confronting those notifications.
Yeah, I wonder if you can change the...
Now, we've all found ourselves in situations like this. Now, rest assured, he stuck the landing on this one. But now, Do Not Disturb can help. And we made it easier than ever to use Do Not Disturb, because now we have a great new mode where when you press into Do Not Disturb in Control Center, you can set an ending time for Do Not Disturb for when you leave a particular location or when an event ends on your calendar. So I think we're all going to be using Do Not Disturb a bunch more. Now, next I want to talk about
use it every
notifications.
night when I go to bed.
Now,
you just said it.
Notifications.
Turn it off, but then I always forget
keep
the
us
next day.
informed and connected.
And so then I'm like,
So
because
maybe
nothing's
this
going
is
on.
you.
I'm not getting anything. I'm like, oh,
we'd like to give you more control over how many notifications you receive. And so we're enabling what we call instant tuning for notifications right from the lock screen. You can press in to a notification, and from there you can decide to send future notifications from that app directly to Notification Center, bypassing your lock screen, or turn them off altogether. And Siri will even help by suggesting that you turn off notifications for apps that you're no longer using. Now, we also wanted to give you help managing large numbers of notifications.
We're suggesting you turn off this app's
So I'm thrilled to announce that we're bringing to iOS support for grouped notifications. Notifications are grouped not just by app, but also by topic and thread. It gives you a great overview of the notifications you've received. You can tap in and look at a particular group.
Finally.
Of course, just as important,
I cannot believe it's
with a single swipe, you can triage a whole group of notifications away. So that's notifications. Now, in addition to these great features for helping you limit distractions, we wanted to go further. And it's with a feature we call screen time. Screen time empowers you with both insight and control over how you spend your time. And it starts
I feel like we talked about this at the...
We did.
Every week, you get a weekly activity summary that details how you used your iPhone or iPad. You tap in, and you get to view your full activity report. It's really detailed. You get deep insight on how much time you're spending, where you're spending it, and even how your use breaks down during the day or the night.
I would just
you get a summary of the time you're spending in apps, how much time you're spending,
I don't want like a pop-up.
how often per hour you're picking up your phone and what's drawing you in,
Why don't you go take a walk?
and what apps are sending you the most notifications.
Don't tell me what to do.
Now, equipped with this insight, you can make decisions about how much time you want to spend with your device each day. But we know there are people who would like a little extra help in managing the use of apps. And for them, we've created app limits. So if in your activity report, you see an app where you might want to be spending a little bit less time, well, you can set your own limit. And then during the day, when you're using the app, you'll receive a helpful notification letting you know time is almost up.
But I like that too. Like if you think about your own productivity, you're like, okay, I'm only going to be on Facebook for 10 minutes.
And once you've reached your limit, instead of the app, you'll see this. It's time to move on. Now, we'll let you grant yourself an extension if you want, but we'll give you a reminder later to move along.
Yeah.
This is also in sync across your iPhone and iPad.
Or you have to like use your Fitbit and burn like so many calories.
We think this is going to be helpful.
Or your Apple Watch.
But especially for some kids. And we know this is something that helps families achieve the right balance for them. And of course it starts with providing your kids with great information so they get an activity report of their own. But as a parent, you get one as well on your device. And based on what you see, you have the option of creating allowances. And
what do you think?
Mom and Dad are watching.
My son's too young for me to like.
You have many options.
Later,
One of them is
definitely, that'd be
downtime.
awesome.
Time when you want your kids to unplug altogether. For instance, at bedtime. And you can also limit your kids' time in apps by category or by individual app. Now, there's some apps you may want to always allow them to use. For instance, you may want them to be able to get at the phone at all times, so they can contact you. You may want to give them access to educational apps.
I mean, they've got another like
also limit
12
access
years
to
to
only
perfect it
movies,
for my
apps, and websites.
I don't know if it happened sooner.
Age appropriate. Now, this works, of course, across their iPhone and iPad, and it uses family sharing, so it's super easy to set up, and you can manage it all remotely from your parental device. And so that are some great screen time and some great features to help you better manage your time.
Or you just don't get them a smartphone, and it's just a burden.
Now, next I'd like to talk about one of the most important uses of our devices, and that's communication. And we'll start with messages. Messages has given us fun ways to express ourselves with emoji, now Animoji. And one of the things that make Animoji so fun is how expressive they are. You know, from smiles to frowns to nods of the head and blinking of the eye. Animoji do such an amazing job tracking our expressions. And this year, we're taking Animoji to a whole new level.
Taking Animoji to a whole
new technology we call tongue detection.
What?
That's right. Now,
is that real?
You can make your favorite Animoji do this. We're all going to be sticking out our tongues to our phones in the near future. Now, we're also introducing some great new Animoji that I think you're all going to love, like ghost, koala, tiger, and T-Rex. But we wanted to take Animoji even further by making them even more personal.
Ear detection.
So I'm thrilled today to announce the arrival of the era of Memoji.
Ooh. What's the
That's right.
Is it Bitmoji?
With Memoji, you can create your very own personalized Animoji.
The first person that sends
Now, these Animoji look like you.
I use Bitmoji all the time, but
the real you. And we've worked hard to build a deep set of customization options to let our customers create an incredibly diverse set of Memoji. It's really incredible what you can create.
They already have this feature for Android.
And we've designed a beautiful new experience to create these Memoji that makes the process fun and easy. Now, to tell you more about it, I'd like to invite one of the managers of our messages and Animoji features, Kelsey Peterson, to give you a live demo. Kelsey.
Good morning. I cannot wait to tell you what's new with messages. Let's get started with Animoji. First, you need to meet the newest members of the team. We've got a new cat in town, our tiger. She's so cute. And now, my personal favorite, the koala. Oops. Just getting excited, scrolling through here. They can't all be cute and cuddly though, so here's our T-Rex. And we have our very own friendly little ghost. So much fun. And if I swipe right, here's where I can create my very own Memoji.
See, they should have done.
Let me show you just
Johnny
how easy it
Ives
is.
talking about,
I recently chopped my hair, so I want one that matches the new me. So I've selected a skin color, and now I'm trying to figure out just the right amount of freckles. It's a real Goldilocks scenario. Yeah,
the lip
these are just right.
The lip detection.
Okay, on to the main event. There are so many hairstyles to choose from. First, I'm gonna grab my color, and then like I said, I need to go a little bit shorter. All right. Nope, this is the one. Now that I'm all set, I can of course select my eye color. And what's really amazing is as I'm making changes, the character up above is coming to life. There are tons of options for me to customize. I could add earrings, but what I really want is a great pair of sunnies. So I'm gonna come over to eyewear and pick out some frames. Maybe not for today. I think I need 2 lenses. These are the ones. Now that I have frames, I'm gonna tint my lenses to make a great pair of sunglasses. Perfect. Okay, I think I'm all set. I'll tap done, which saves my brandly created Memoji right here into the drawer alongside the rest of my team. And that's how simple it is to create your very own Memoji. Now I have a brand new feature to introduce you to. This wasn't even in Craig's slides. We are bringing fun effects into the messages camera. Let's take a look. I have a message here from my partner. It looks like he's informing me that he's bought our dog Ferdinand yet another tiny dog hat.
No,
this isn't even the first.
Looks like he's informing.
I think this is the perfect opportunity for a response with this new fun camera. So I'll tap to pull up the camera, and then I can see this little star over here on the left. Tapping on that gives me a strip with all sorts of new effects. So I could add things like shapes or text. But let's check out these filters. Ooh, so this is comic book. It's really fun.
I feel like
but for a response about a tiny dog
keynote,
hat, I
like
think
an
I'm gonna
eyebrow
go in a
qualification
different artistic
that
direction.
you have to have.
What I really need to do is add a sticker from one of my favorite
I
sticker
mean, people
packs.
have to know what you're saying from really far back in
Ferdy
the back of the
looks really
amphitheater.
excited
Painting for the
about
back
that
of the
new dog
room.
hat.
He's
So I'm
very
gonna put
expressive.
him
Yeah.
right here.
Are they angry or are
And
they
now
happy?
we have an
Oh,
all
no,
new
the
way
eyebrows
for you to
went.
use Animoji. I can apply my favorite Animoji
To your own
right
face?
here, live. Here's the Memoji I just created.
So,
but I actually have
there's
just
a
the
dog
one.
next to her.
It's
like a
me
mold
in a
stuff.
very
what's this?
Yeah,
similar
that's
red
weird.
hat, which is kind of perfect for twinning with my pup. So I'm gonna set up my shot,
I don't like that. It looks like
snap,
Thomas the Tank.
and send. And that's a demo of the fun new effects and messages. Back to you, Craig.
So that's Memoji and some fun new effects in the camera and messages. Next, let's talk about FaceTime. Yeah.
Memoji for
is the way that
FaceTime.
so many of us connect with
Guessing.
people in our lives, share some of the
AR
most
integration
important
in
moments.
FaceTime.
And it's helped us deepen
Our
our
best
connection
example,
with
Memojis.
people important to us wherever they are. And of course, it's a fun place just to hang out. Now, this year, FaceTime is going to take a big leap forward because today we're introducing group FaceTime.
Oh, how long have we been waiting for that? No, it's been like forever.
Now, you'll be able to FaceTime
So you can like
2
breathe
people,
with all your friends.
Yeah.
3 people.
That's pretty big. And then,
Actually, up to 32
Whoa.
simultaneous participants.
well, that's kind of
Wait,
crazy.
you couldn't do that before?
No, it's just a long one.
Now,
What?
Yeah.
setting up a group call couldn't be
All
easier.
built on Pied
Just instead of
Pipers.
typing one
This video chat would
You
never
can ring
work.
them by tapping audio or video. But we also introduced a great new way because FaceTime is now integrated into messages. So you can quickly go from a group chat you have going directly
cool.
in to a group FaceTime. And members of the group can join in and drop out at any time. It's really great. Would you like to see it? Well, let's do a demo.
He's doing his own demo.
Well, I think for our first live demo of group FaceTime, I'm going to contact the folks back in Cupertino. Now I can just dive into this conversation I have going with the members of the FaceTime team. And it looks like actually they're already on a group FaceTime call, so I'm just going to join right in.
Just interrupt their call, huh?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Craig. Check it out. So it's this beautiful
Stop it.
FaceTime UI with these big, gorgeous tiles right up front where you see some of the leaders of the FaceTime team. And down at the bottom, there's an area
So it's
we
kinda
call
like a
the
speaker
roster
view. It
that
makes
contains
it
everybody
biggest-
else. And of course,
biggest
I'm right there in the lower
tile
right-hand
while
corner.
speaking? Or is it just
Craig. Wait, am I on the big screen?
Yes, Lauren, this is not a test. You're in front of 6,000 of your biggest new fans.
Good thing I'm wearing pants.
Now, what you probably
you can
noticed is
tell.
when Lauren spoke, her tile automatically got larger to reflect her prominence in the conversation. This is totally automatic. Hey, Roberto, how's it going back there in Cupertino?
I'd say it's going pretty well. And Lauren, sorry for stealing your spotlight.
So this works, of course, for people in the roster as well. When they speak, they come forward. Hey, Christopher, you ready to make your big entrance?
Yeah, how do you determine who's in the roster?
Hello, world.
No.
If you're not in the roster, or if you're in the roster and you're not being shown, but then you speak up, I'd imagine that you're blocked and pop up.
So, okay, you have 32 people.
Yeah.
All trying to talk at once.
That
This
would
is
be
just
hard.
like...
It'd be so
like
your phone just crashes.
What?
Thanks, Craig. It's exciting to finally
Got a picture of Craig on his wall.
It sure is.
What?
We have not only
Somebody's
all of
in
this,
for that
we've
promotion.
also brought the fun effects to the FaceTime camera.
Oh, here it is.
Just tap in, and I
I
have
called
access
it.
to Animoji, filters, and all of my sticker packs. And everyone else on the call can apply them too.
Tiles. I just want.
Wow, now this is the future.
Hey, Craig, check this out. I'm a comic book koala. Something I've always wanted.
That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you finally
using
been
the
able to
effects on
express
top
that
of
side
the-
of yourself, Roberto.
The
Hey,
emojis
Tim, is
from
that
the
you?
emojis.
Yeah, it's me. I signed up to help test FaceTime.
All right. Well, thank you, Tim. Every little bit counts.
Is he just in the background?
Thanks
Backstage.
to everyone on the FaceTime team for making it a reality. I can't wait to start
Ooh,
using
that
it
eyebrow
every
detection.
Sunday
Yeah.
night.
Again,
They
strong
needed an
eyebrows.
Looking forward to that, Tim. Of course, what I'm really looking forward to is getting group FaceTime to everyone on
It seems like a lot
iOS
of
12.
wasted
Thanks, guys,
That's
for
what I
a
was gonna say. It
fantastic
seems like
call.
a
We'll see you
weird-
back in Cupertino.
It seems like you should just have them all and then they could just get big without floating around.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
But 32
So
little
that's
tiny
group
squares stacked, you've never seen
Yeah.
that.
iPhone,
That would be a little
iPad,
I don't even
and
have
Mac.
32 people.
And you can even answer an audio on your wrist on your
30
Apple
There's
Watch.
not even 32 people that like me.
So that's
Yeah,
FaceTime
I'm
with
good.
messages. And
Not
this
people that I wanna
is
FaceTime.
iOS 12. Improved performance, new AR experiences, Siri
I
suggestions,
think 30. I don't think you can do
screen
that on
time,
any other.
emoji and fun effects
Other
in the
than maybe,
messages
like,
camera,
Google Hangouts?
and group FaceTime. I
Oh,
hope
it's
you
been
like
an
it.
hour
I'm
and
gonna
all
hand
I've
it back to
talked
Tim.
about is
Thank
iOS
you.
12.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing. Let's talk about macOS for like.
Thank
30
you,
seconds.
Craig. iOS 12 looks fantastic, and we can't wait for
Or they're
everyone to get their
ditching
hands on
OS
it.
and just moving to
Next
iOS
up,
across
I'd like to talk about
Apple
the Apple
OS.
Watch.
Apple.
That's what they'll call it when they get rid of both of them.
Yeah.
When we began development of the watch many years ago, we had a vision for just how impactful and essential it could become in our lives. So we worked very hard to create something that you would love and want to wear all the time. And customers do love it. In fact, Apple Watch is #1 in customer satisfaction.
Who writes about Apple Watch?
And not just this year, but every single year since we launched in 2015. And growth
There's, like,
has been
no
off the
competitors
charts. Apple Watch grew 60% last year.
Actually, I do
We're
love
constantly hearing from customers about the many ways that the Apple Watch has changed their lives. And I'd like to
Could do
share
one Apple
just one of them with you this morning.
You want one?
Mary
do want one.
Dobson was boating with her
It's-
husband John
I like having
when, due to a medical
Yeah.
condition, all of
But-
John's muscles went completely limp.
I want it, but I
He
also
fell
don't
into
want
the
to
ice-cold
pay for
water.
the added like 4G.
With her arms
Oh, you
wrapped
have to pay
around
for it.
John
I think it's an added.
to keep
It's
him
part
from
of your
drowning,
subscription plan.
Mary could not
wherever you're at.
reach her phone to call for help.
I like it.
But
I
with her
wouldn't
Apple
pay.
Watch,
can't see much
she was
using
able
it,
to
really.
call Siri, or to
It's mostly
use
just
Siri to call
notification.
911,
That's the last thing I want.
rescuers
Yeah,
soon
you change your watch
arrived,
faces,
and
match
saved
my
John's
outfit
life.
The only when I used to review like the
As
the
Mary
good ones,
told
the
us,
Android ones,
if it
the only
wasn't
thing
for
I use
my
it for is,
Apple
like,
Watch,
driving.
he
Like,
really
when you're
would
driving,
not be
getting
here
directions
today.
is really cool.
Yeah.
The driving, the
This is just one of the many stories
it.
that we've heard about how Apple Watch is impacting people's lives. They range from getting people to be more active to helping users live a healthier life. or even to alerting users to an elevated heart rate.
I was wondering that.
Apple Watch
Sounds like he
brings
has
such
a southern
amazing
accent.
capabilities right to the wrist. And of course, at the heart of this is watchOS. We're excited to introduce watchOS 5 today, which brings even more ways for you to stay active and connected. And I'd like to hand it off to Kevin Lynch to tell you all about it. Kevin?
Good morning. You know, stories like that about how Apple Watch is supporting people around the world in even extreme situations like Mary and John's, but also in their daily lives, is really super motivating to us as a team. And there are things you do every day that shape your life. And Apple Watch has two key areas it's working to help you support those activities every day. First, staying active to increase your well-being and health. And second, being connected to the people and the information that you care most about. We're moving watchOS forward in both of these areas. Let's start with health and fitness. Now, much of the power in the health and fitness features that we put in Watch are really empowered by the investment we do to make sure the data you see is accurate. The data from our custom-built heart rate sensor, accelerometer, gyro, GPS are all thoroughly validated. In fact, from our fitness lab, we've studied over 6 terabytes of data, where 12,000 study participants logged over 90,000 hours of sessions. They actually burned 2.3 million calories doing this. We believe this is the largest biometric data collection of its kind. And we take this information and we work to integrate this seamlessly with the user experience. So when you raise your wrist and you look at your activity rings, the information is not only accurate, but it's also meaningful to you.
Just an apple.
Hearing about your focus on closing these rings. And we really enable this through a number of ways in Apple Watch. First, of course, we do daily coaching. So
Shout out to Half Day Newbies on Twitch.
We also support celebrations when you
can do a lot of stuff with S9
and we have
with
special
the
edition
emojis.
challenges,
But
like
yes,
the most recent
Apple
birthday
takes a lot of
challenge that we
ideas
did.
that already exist and just make things
monthly
better.
basis, we do monthly
kinda what they're
goals that
known
are
for.
personalized to you.
It's true.
And of course, the Activity app also supports activity sharing, which has become one of the most popular features of the Activity app. Many of you love the excitement of good old-fashioned competition, though. So in watchOS 5, you can challenge any of your activity-sharing friends to a 7-day competition whenever you would like. And if they accept, you each try to win the week by closing your rings and earning points. You earn 1 point for each % of a ring that you close. And while you're in the middle of a competition, your progress notifications are updated to not only show you the progress your friend's making, but also where you stand in the competition. And when you win, you receive a new award. We're really excited about this addition, and if you're competitive, it gives you a whole new way to enjoy the Activity app. Now, when you're doing when you do want to go do a workout, there's a lot of workout types you can choose from. We have custom algorithms to measure things like calorie burn, pace, distance, elevation gain, and when you're swimming, it even counts laps and detects what swim strokes you're using. And with Gym Kit, your metrics are in sync with your favorite gym equipment. We're really excited to bring more enhancements to workouts in watchOS 5, starting with a new workout type for yoga. Now, this works primarily from your heart rate. And we calibrate this to your fitness level through the rest of your day. So now you can more accurately track those yoga sessions, including those intense vinyasa sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we've also added a new workout type for hiking. This takes into account pace and heart rate and elevation gain, so you can more accurately get exercise credit while you're hiking in steep terrain.
I could love to see that as like an icon call out on the watch.
What is
and Apple Watch has become a really great running companion, especially now that we've added GPS, cellular, and music streaming.
Surprise, surprise.
We're making this an even better experience
But
now
they're like
for
these
training
little goats
runs
where
and
you do
races.
yoga poses and
In addition
the
to
goats
current
would
and average
climb on
pace,
you.
you now have
They're like little baby
control
goats,
of
and then
your
they would
rolling
like,
pace.
no, they
How
like
fast
climbing
you run
things,
immediately
and so like
preceding
when you,
mile.
it's just like
We also
interacting
now
with
set a
these
custom
baby
pace alert,
goats.
so your Apple Watch will tap you when you're above or below the pace that you've set.
Probably.
And finally, runners will now get cadence, so you can see your current steps per minute. We're really excited for runners to try these out.
Goat yoga.
Now,
Goga.
Now, there's sometimes when you forget to start a workout on Watch, but you've started working out. And to solve this now, we're adding automatic workout detection. So your Apple Watch will now offer to start tracking a workout if it senses that you're beginning one. And even if you press start sometime after you began working out, you'll get retroactive credit for the workouts that you did. And these start alerts will support all these great workouts on Apple Watch. Now, when you reduce the intensity of your movement or your heart rate decreases, but you forget to end your workout, of course, Watch will also detect that and suggest that you stop. So all these new features, activity competitions, the new yoga and hiking workout, new features for runners and automatic workout detection are all enabling you to more accurately track your workouts and stay motivated while you do. Now let's talk about being connected. Apple Watch enables you to remain in the moment while also easily connected to the people and information that you care about. And the introduction of cellular made this even better. You can stay connected even when you're going out for an evening, running some errands, or even going for a swim. Or stay in touch when your phone might not be easily available to you. And staying connected with people you love is something that our customers love about Apple Watch.
I just had somebody respond to me on Twitter saying, like, I hope there's a Steve Jobs
tone the other end of the voice as you talk in real time. Or you can use messages to have impromptu, short conversations with loved ones in a message thread. In watchOS 5, you'll have an entirely new way to communicate on your watch. That's real-time voice, but with the spontaneity of short messaging.
Did you steal my chips?
Maybe.
I cannot wait until you go to college.
Introducing Walkie Talkie. This is a new app on Apple Watch. It's a fun, easy way to talk with friends and family. Let's take a look at how it works. First, you choose who you'd like to enable walkie-talkie with, and it suggests some people that you often communicate with, so you can easily add them. Now, the first time that you do this, your friend will receive a one-time request to allow a walkie-talkie connection with you. If they accept, then you can speak to each other with walkie-talkie whenever you like. And to do this, you just press to talk.
Now, is it
and then your friend can hear your voice,
LTE
just like
or
a
is it
walkie-talkie.
using Bluetooth?
Oh, I'm sure it's LTE.
And they're going to feel a haptic and hear a beep beep sound right before your voice comes out.
This is cool though. This is like
this new watch-to-watch connection works
Star
over
Trek
cellular or
communicators,
Wi-Fi. It has really high audio quality, and it's a lot of fun. We can't wait for you to try this out. That's walkie-talkie.
How come they don't have an iPhone
Now, last year we introduced a Siri watch face, which presents the right information to you at the right
kinda
time.
do.
And Siri does this
Oh,
using
the
machine
voice.
learning,
Well,
it's going to get better at
WhatsApp
predicting your
and
actions
Marco
over
Polo
time by
both do
combining
it in
inputs
audio
like
and
the
video.
time of day, your location,
You
your
can also
busy
send this little
routines, or which
voice
apps you use when.
things in
We're making some great
iMessage.
enhancements to the Siri watch face now.
Yeah, it's not the same.
First, we're adding new content. So now you can get live sports scores, you can get commute time home or to work, or you can see your heart rate, for example, after a workout or your resting heart rate.
Usually it's because I
And we're also adding Siri shortcuts. Those shortcuts you saw coming to iOS 12 are also going to be available in watchOS. So in addition to getting relevant information, you'll also receive predicted shortcuts right on the Siri watch face. So at a wrist raise, you'll be able to directly do things like turn on your leaving home scene, or start an outdoor walk, or play your favorite morning playlist. And these shortcuts appear based on whether you typically do those actions.
Somebody
at those
tweeted a
times.
comparison
So super easy
of
now
Tim
to just
Cook's
tap and do those
Memoji
actions.
and the old guy from Up.
Yeah, I just saw that. I just retweeted it.
Third-party apps on the Siri watch face. So now you can see both relevant content and shortcuts from your favorite apps. So if you always go running with Nike Plus Run Club at a certain time, or you're logging your meals with Lose It, or you use City Mapper to find your commute home, you just raise your wrist and tap. It's that easy. So new content, support for shortcuts, and third-party apps making for an even more powerful Siri watch face. Now currently to talk to Siri, you raise your wrist and you say, "Hey Siri." And when you think about this, it's quite a strong signal when you raise your wrist and talk to your watch. It's kind of like when someone's standing right in front of you. You don't need to say hey because you have their attention already. So we're bringing this same social cue to Siri on the watch. So you no longer need to say, "Hey Siri." You just raise your wrist and talk to Siri. Now we're also bringing a number of improvements to notifications, which are now more actionable and interactive. So for example, with this notification from Qantas, you can check in and share your flight details right from the notification. After you finish a ride with Didi, you can scroll down, you can rate your ride and pay with Apple Pay right there in the notification. And with this one from Yelp, that your table is ready, if you need a bit more time, you can extend the reservation out a bit just by tapping here. So super easy now to interact right in place inside notifications. We've also improved our message notifications. Today, if someone sends you a
Siri
web
book an
link, you
appointment
aren't able to
for
view it on
you
your wrist.
from your watch.
With watchOS 5, we've integrated WebKit, so now you have the ability to view web content in mail or messages. You can even tap on that link. Yes.
No.
And to easily view things like menus here. And while we think full browsing doesn't make sense on your wrist, there are times you get content you'd like to see it right in the moment, and now you'll be able to do that in watchOS 5. And the content's being formatted from the small screen, and where reader mode's available, it uses that on the watch. So, WebKit on watchOS.
We're trying to do too much here.
Now with watchOS 4, we introduced an entirely new way to listen to music while you're on the go. You can stream 48 million songs on your wrist with Apple Music, or you can listen to automatically synced and curated playlists. And now, with watchOS 5, we're giving you even more to listen to. That's right. The Apple Podcast app is coming to Apple Watch.
What, dude?
Upcoming
Some
episodes,
stuff like this, we're like, I
subscribe
cannot believe
podcasts
it didn't
will
ship with a
automatically sync
podcast
to your watch.
app.
You can get them right there. Or you can just ask Siri to stream a podcast for you, and it'll start playing. And playback resumes across all your devices, so you can continue just where you left off. So that's podcasts. Now, those are the great new features coming in watchOS 5. To stay connected with people and information that you care most about. Interactive notifications, web content, new content and shortcuts from the Siri face, podcasts, and of course, walkie-talkie. Now, we'd like to show you this stuff live, in action, and we thought we'd increase the challenge a bit in our live demo here today to keep it interesting. So Jules, who helps lead our fitness experiences, is actually going to do the demo while biking.
Are they gonna have a follow card? Like actually,
so Jules
like
has
video?
expertise in coaching, and she knows how to move and demonstrate, motivate all at the same time. Take it away,
She's on a
Jules.
Peloton or whatever.
Thank you, Kevin. I've got some great stuff to show you that I think you're really going to love. And bonus is I get to work on closing my rings while I do it. So first, I'm super excited to show you how easy it is to start a workout with Gym Kit.
Too much already.
I just tap to connect and accept on the watch. And now I can control and start the workout right here from the console on the bike. All of my data between the watch and the bike is in sync, and all of my workout metrics are accurate. Now, I wouldn't typically be trying to demo things for you and sneak in a workout at the same time, but I want to show you activity competitions. And to do that, I need to keep moving. This morning, I got this notification, and it says, your competition with Jay is down to the last day, and it's a close one. Have you got what it takes to win? Have I got what it takes? You bet I do.
You betcha.
But if I scroll down, I can see that Jay's moved ahead me by a couple of points, and that's not okay because this thing ends tonight. So I think I'm going to add a little resistance to this workout here and work to earn as many points as possible and move ahead of Jay by the time this demo is done. I can simply tap here and send him a little smack talk to let him know I'm coming for him. Let me show you interactive notifications because I have dinner reservations tonight that I made through Yelp. If all goes well here, I'm going to go out with my girlfriends from work to celebrate. And because we all know that Jay's going to lose this competition, maybe I should invite him along so it can be his treat. Now I can simply add to the number of guests and confirm right here in the app without ever having to open it. It's that simple.
Yeah, you can't even do that on an iOS
Now
app,
in watchOS 5, notifications from apps are smartly grouped together. And here are a couple messages from my friend Catherine. We're trying to get to a yoga retreat this summer, and it looks like she sent me a link. Now I can tap it here and see if she's found somewhere great for us to go. Oh yeah,
Web
this looks
browsing on an
beautiful.
Apple
I'm already
Watch.
in,
On a bike.
but I could continue to scroll through the site, maybe read a little bit more about the retreat, even check the dates to make sure that they work. And I can do all that right here from my wrist. Let me show you the enhancements that we've made to the new Siri watch face. At the top here, you see the workout that I'm in right now. And when I'm ready to get back to it, I can just tap.
While
Next
working
up is
out
Glow
and
Baby, because it's about this time each day that I check the app to see if my husband is logged our one-year-old's nap. Oh, good job, baby. He slept 2 hours. And you parents
Siri,
know that good naps
switch
equal good nights, so I'm looking forward to that.
Siri.
All right. As I scroll through my day, I can
She's
see my
starting to
next
get a little
meeting.
I
can see
there you
traffic
go.
directions to places
Siri
that
tried
I'm
to
going
talk
later
to me.
today. Here's that dinner that Siri found in my calendar. And waiting for me at the end of my day It's a shortcut to my evening meditation or 10% happier. Nice. Now, I want to check back in on this competition, but I thought it might be a good idea to get a little moral support from my #1 fan. And you heard Kevin say how walkie-talkie is so great for staying in touch with close friends and family. So I set my daughter up with walkie-talkie so that she can help demo what it's like to receive one and maybe give me a little bit of love up here.
Quicken a little bit.
Oh, there she is.
I feel slightly better about myself.
Mommy, I see you on TV.
Isn't that fun? How am I doing?
So good. I know you'll beat Uncle Jay. #mommy for the win.
Thanks, Peach. I love you. And that's how walkie-talkies
I
works.
feel like if my parent did that to me, like,
All right,
it's okay, but this
the time
guy
is
kinda
now.
sucked,
Check in on this
Oh, some
competition
actor kid.
and see if I've done enough to pull ahead. I'm going to tap into activity and swipe over to see the score. Oh, yes.
Do you have to
Sorry,
so if you do the one-time
But the
connection
day
with
is
like the
still
walkie-talkie
young.
thing, they can
Thanks,
it'll interrupt you no
everybody,
matter
and back to
what
you,
you're
Kevin.
doing. It'll just go beep and she'll just start talking.
No, I imagine that there's like you have to press to accept.
Way to go,
There
Jules.
was that setting on there that said
So in
Sure.
WatchOS 5, we've enabled
Yeah.
even deeper integration on the watch for apps, enabling them to work.
Find out
right
when
in the
somebody's
moment.
in like a big presentation,
Yeah.
and you'd be like,
That's
"We're out of TP. Can you bring some more?"
Without even opening an app, like extend your parking with Pay by Phone. And with shortcuts,
That's
there's also new
definitely
opportunities for
dangerous.
third-party
Like,
apps to
you
appear
got your
on
friends
Apple Watch
together
right on
Yeah.
the watch
and
face.
had that? Oh,
You can
yeah.
tap on a shortcut on the Siri face to
Wait
order
till
coffee
they're
from
not
the
letting
my
bike,
buddies
or pick up where you left off in a workout.
Wait till
You
like
can even
yeah,
use
you're
your
in a
custom
meeting,
Siri
you're doing
commands
something, you're
that
like,
you created on your
there's
phone to
bodies
speak
in the
on your watch.
trunk or something like that.
For native apps building rich experiences, we've improved the Workout API for greater performance, and we've added the ability for third-party apps to play background audio. This enables you to easily sync things, of course, like audiobooks, favorite playlists, guided meditations, right to your watch, and they'll be able to play continuously in the background. Now, there's so many other features coming in watchOS, including things like the ability to customize the button arrangement in your control center, or you can add an air quality complication to your watch face. But one really exciting one is
Air
student
quality
ID cards.
complication.
You're going to have the ability to add your
These
student
complications
ID
are what
card
those
to
little things
wallet
are called, I
on
think.
your iPhone and
But
Apple Watch.
when you say that, it sounds really funny.
This works by simply holding your watch near a
That'd be an air
reader.
quality
Anywhere you can use your student ID cards
Not a good
on and
thing.
off campus. You can get access to places like your dorm or the library or events on campus. You can even pay for things like snacks or laundry or dinners. And this works with your watch or your phone, and it will be available this fall, starting with these universities, and will expand to more campuses over time. Now, this is also Pride Month, and we're really excited to introduce an all-new Pride
Oh,
Edition
yeah.
watch band. And we didn't stop there. We made a beautiful new face that matches perfectly with the band.
Our Apple Watch faces
And the face and the band are available today. And if you'd like to use the new watch face, you can choose to add it from the watch face
I know they
gallery
weren't at the
starting at
beginning.
noon today.
I don't know if they've been
That's just some
updated
of what's
to
coming in
have
watchOS 5.
third-party,
Thank you very much. Back to Tim.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. WatchOS just keeps getting better and better. And we're excited for you to try all of these great new features to help you stay more active and connected. Next up is Apple TV.
Yeah.
Last September, we introduced Apple
Somebody-
TV 4K, and our customers
Somebody
love
let
it.
Caleb know that
Since
they're
its
gonna talk about
introduction,
something.
the
He's
Apple
interested.
TV business has grown an incredible 50%. Today, we've got some great new enhancements to Apple TV 4K and tvOS, and we think you're going to love them. So I'd like to invite Apple TV lead designer Jen Foltz to the stage to tell you all about it. Jen?
Thanks, Tim. Apple TV is built on an incredible platform, tvOS. And tvOS is built specifically for the living room to make it easy to enjoy your favorite
So much
TV
for
shows,
unifying operating
movies,
systems.
apps, and games.
See?
Now, as Tim mentioned,
It's not
last
gonna be Apple
September,
that does
we
it.
introduced
Apple's the
Apple
anti-
TV
yeah.
4K with the goal of bringing the highest quality cinematic experience right to your home. It offers both 4K and high dynamic range, including support for HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Time said the new Apple TV is a high-fidelity powerhouse. And to ensure you can enjoy this beautiful experience with as much content as possible, iTunes offers the largest collection of 4K HDR movies. And we've upgraded your previously purchased movies to 4K HDR for free with all available titles. There are also, thank you, there are also many 4K and HDR TV shows available from popular services like Amazon Prime Video and Netflix. And we know what makes for an amazing cinematic experience is not just great picture quality, it's also incredible sound.
Does anybody here actually?
So Apple TV 4K is bringing you the latest in audio technology. Dolby Atmos. With Atmos, you get room-filling sound, the perfect complement to the stunning visuals of Apple TV 4K. Now, what makes Atmos so special is that unlike a traditional surround sound setup where sound is assigned to channels like the left or the right, Dolby Atmos has the ability to completely immerse you. Atmos moves sound in three-dimensional space, creating an experience with powerful audio that flows all around you. It puts you right in the center of the action. All this with a home theater setup as simple as a Dolby Atmos-enabled soundbar and an Apple TV 4K. In fact, Apple TV 4K is the only streaming player to be both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos certified.
It was for me so far.
And this fall, iTunes will be bringing you the largest collection of Atmos content anywhere. And just like with 4K HDR, your iTunes libraries will be upgraded to include Dolby Atmos on all supported titles for free.
That's the most we can do with 4K thing. That's pretty cool.
Now, of course, these movies and so much more are available in the Apple TV app. The Apple TV app is the center of your video experience. A single place to find and watch what you love across your favorite apps. It's on Apple TV, iPad, and iPhone, where you can find not only on-demand TV shows and movies, but also live content, including sports. The Apple TV app now offers a huge range of live sports. And we've added live news to make it even easier to stay current. The addition of live sports and news providers brings the coverage of the TV app to over 100 video channels, giving you a massive selection of content all in one place. With all this, Apple TV is the best box to connect to your TV. And that's now more true than ever.
That's probably true.
As more and more cable companies
will be on
fundamentally
there
shift how video gets to your TV. This typical cable box is becoming a thing of the past, as these companies embrace internet-based
That's an ugly
delivery.
cable box.
Is that
They chose the ugliest on purpose. I know.
Apple TV
From like
as
10
the
years
one
ago.
device
Yeah.
You know
for
there's
live,
somebody at home who goes,
on-demand and
Hey,
right. And we've already
take that picture
started
of my
working
living
with
room?
partners around the world to make this a reality. In France, we're working with Canal Plus. Almost a third of French households subscribe to Canal services. And their subscribers can now choose Apple TV to access more than 100 live channels and some of the biggest sports, including the French Open in 4K. In Switzerland, we've partnered with Salt. Salt just launched a new TV service with more than 300 live TV channels, and it's available exclusively on Apple
Apple's
TV.
original TV?
And I'm really excited to announce that here in the US, Charter Spectrum will be coming to Apple TV late this year.
It's like everyone else.
Somebody quick patented it before they invented it.
That means that up to 50 million homes will be able to choose Apple TV to access all their live channels and thousands of on-demand programs. And they'll be able to use Siri and the TV app to get access to their TV service, not only on Apple TV, but
Apple
on
TV have a
iPhone and
DVR
iPad as well.
built in?
Now, with nearly any
Like for
cable
recorded live
subscription,
stuff? Yeah.
you can get access to dozens of video channels, like
That's the
ESPN,
next
Showtime,
evolution.
NBC, and many more.
Yeah, I want to say no.
but it used to be really painful to set up, having to authenticate each app individually. I'm sure all of you have seen that 6-digit code you have to go online and type into a web browser. Well, last year we introduced single sign-on. Enter your cable credentials only once, and we unlock all of the apps your subscription supports. Well, now we're making it even easier with zero sign-on.
Whoa.
So now, if you're on your TV provider's broadband network, we'll securely and automatically unlock all the supported apps included with your TV service. No credentials needed, it just works.
But what about for all of like
Charter
the millennials
Spectrum.
who are on their parents' subscriptions?
Yeah, hold on a second here.
This is really awesome. And Charter Spectrum will be the first to support zero sign-on, and we'll be adding more providers over time.
Sign on.
We're also giving you even more options for ways to control your Apple TV.
Sign on.
For example, you can get quick access on your iPhone, where
So
Apple
no one else
TV
is
users
stealing
will
your
get the Apple
accounts.
TV remote automatically added to Control Center. And for those that have installed home control systems, we're working with the leading providers so that you can use their remotes to control your Apple TV.
What are those?
Even including support for Siri.
Home automation companies.
At Apple, I love working with an amazing team, designing for a product that I enjoy every day and on the biggest screen in my home. I get to watch all my favorite movies, TV shows, and more. Over 48 million songs, including the best metal on Apple Music.
Whoa.
All of my photos, videos, and memories, as well as thousands
Didn't take
of apps
her
and
as a
games
metalhead.
that many of you have built.
Guess she is.
And Apple TV brings some amazing views right to my living room with aerials. Now, one of the questions I get asked the most about aerials, especially by my family members, is where is this? Well, this fall, with just a tap of the Siri remote, you'll now be able to see every aerial location. And you can even swipe between locations, so you can see even more.
Are these just
And today,
backgrounds?
I have an incredible new
Wallpapers.
location to share with you. For the past year, we've been collaborating closely with an amazing partner, filming some stunning footage from around the world with a very unique vantage point. And here it is. Earth.
International Space Station cam. Google Earth? You collaborated with Google?
This is filmed by astronauts aboard the International Space Station. You can see Sicily just off the boot of Italy, and check out that Mediterranean Sea. The blue is just phenomenal.
It looks
So
like
here's
all
a
the
fun
other
fact.
seas.
The space station makes an orbit every 90 minutes. So that means
Yeah, I
they
know
get
that.
16 sunrises and sunsets
You know this
every day.
keynote's been going on a long time.
And with
when we
all
start
those
getting kinda
sunsets,
testy.
nighttime can be particularly
Looks like an
stunning,
ocean
the
to
way
me.
those urban areas pop with light. Here we are flying over South Korea toward Japan. You can see Tokyo coming into view at the top, some distant stars, and even the upper reaches of the Earth's atmosphere, which is that orange band enveloping the Earth. And here's one that might look a little more familiar. This is the Northern California coast heading southward. You can see Lake Tahoe surrounded by snow caps
What is
and
this for
the San Francisco Bay.
Wallpaper?
These are
Apple
truly
TV wallpaper.
incredible and offer such a unique
We're talking
perspective
about
on the world.
wallpaper, people.
I'd like to give a huge thanks to the International Space Station National Lab and CASIS for all their help in making this a possibility.
There should be like a Steve Jobs printing and trade counter. Like every time that Apple introduces some new feature, they're
These
just
are
like,
going to look
"Oh,
incredible
guys."
at home in 4K HDR.
Our new wallpaper.
please?
Is it the Animoji
So that's
cringing?
TVOS. Apple
Or the
TV gives you
Animoji.
amazing
Yeah.
picture
Emoji?
and sound
Can we please,
with 4K
like, put up a
HDR
counter?
and now Dolby Atmos.
We should.
And the Apple
dang it, we
TV
can do that
app
on our
is the
Twitch
center
stream.
of your video
Start
experience.
putting up counters.
Available on Apple TV, iPad, and iPhone, it's the one place to find all your favorite TV shows, movies, sports, and news. And with that, I'll hand it back to Tim. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Apple TV 4K and tvOS look and sound awesome. You're really going to love it. Next up is the Mac.
There we go. Luke, something for you.
Oh, man.
You might have to write.
We love the Mac. The Mac was the first
It only took an
computer
hour
that
and
made
36 minutes
powerful
in.
They're like, sorry, we ran out of
so
time. We'll
easy
just send a
to
press
use,
release.
and at the center of the experience. And of course, that remains at the core of all Apple products.
Give me that wallpaper.
For
I'll put
more
that
than
on my
30 years, the Mac has empowered people to
It's like Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon.
of
It's like,
amazing
sorry, Mac, we ran out of time. We've been trying to get you on here.
to the professional. Today, we're excited to take Mac a huge leap forward.
Huge.
The next version of Mac OS is chock full of new features inspired by pro users, but designed for everyone. I'd like to bring Craig back up to talk about it. Craig?
Come on, Craig.
Give us something.
Hello again. It's true that Mac OS is the heart of what makes a Mac a Mac. And we want as many Mac users as possible to have access to our latest software. And that's why 6 years ago, with the introduction of OS X Mavericks, we began offering our Mac OS updates free for Mac users. And 2013 was also the year that we first introduced our California naming theme. Now, after spending a year by the ocean, we not only modernized the look and feel of Mac OS, but we headed to the mountains with Mac OS Yosemite. Now, as you may be aware, our naming of Mac releases is handled by our crack marketing organization. And as you probably noticed, they went on a 4-year mountain-bound bender. In El Capitan, we added Metal, our groundbreaking graphics technology. In Sierra, we brought Siri to the Mac and extended our capabilities and continuity. And last year, with High Sierra, we focused on deep technology, preparing the Mac for future innovation. Well, this year, we've made some striking changes to Mac OS. And we've left the high country for a place entirely different, but no less beautiful. Here still in California. And I'd like to take you there now.
Fresno. The desert.
Our next release of Mac OS is Mac OS Mojave.
We'll have a dark mode.
Now, Mojave is beautiful during the day, but what really captured our imagination was the beauty of the desert at night.
Oh, here we go. Nice segue.
And this inspired one of our most distinctive new features, and I'd like to show it to you now. So here we are live in Mac OS Mojave. I'd like to show you a new side of Mojave. We call it dark mode.
How many times has
Dark mode.
Now, as you see, dark mode is not just about the dock or the menu bar. It extends to your Windows Chrome, your sidebar, and even the content of the windows. And it's so great for pros. It makes photographic content absolutely pop off the screen. It's just gorgeous. It's so nice. And this is great not just for photography, but when working on presentations or documents. It's also great doing ordinary things if maybe you're working in a dark environment. You just look at calendar, even mail in dark mode. It's so great.
I think that's really ugly. I would never
And I think
use that.
Really?
some of us are going to want to run dark mode just because it's so cool.
I think some people like that.
I mean,
some people
your
will.
emoji look great. Your photos look great. I mean, check out your album art in Music or your For You feed in Apple Music. But I think one audience that's going to especially appreciate dark mode are some of you here in this room, our developers, because Xcode looks fantastic in dark. Whether it's your source code or even interface builder and all of its inspectors, they just look fantastic in black. And that's a quick look at dark mode. What's that? Now, we were so inspired by this changing desktop wallpaper, we decided to add a new feature to Mojave that I think you'll enjoy. It's called Dynamic Desktop. And when you're using it, your desktop actually subtly changes throughout the day, from morning to afternoon to evening. It's really cool. Now, there's much more to Mojave that I'd like to share with you through demos, and it starts with the desktop. Now, the desktop is so crucial to how many of us use our Macs. When we have files that we're actively working on, we often put them on the desktop, but the result can be a desktop that looks something like this. And so now in Mojave, we have a really great solution, and we call it desktop stacks.
Oh.
That's cool.
Yes.
Nobody's gonna use that.
Are you kidding me?
All of the contents of your
I will use that right now.
People whose desktops are so cluttered with
stacks.
stuff.
They can be arranged by kind,
I'm
by
that person,
date,
though.
or even by
That's true. I have
tag.
seen your desktop.
And they're really easy to use. You just click on them.
I was like taking
see all the
screenshots.
contents in the stack.
So like they
double
always
click
save right to
open
the
a
desktop.
document
So I always have like a million
and put it away. And they stay organized. So for
So they're not
instance, if I
folders,
bring
they're
forward
just-
mail, maybe I drag an image
They're like
out,
when
I
the
want you to watch what
downloads
happens.
on your
The image
toolbar
flies
when you would like
right
populate
into
by
the
clicking
right
on it.
stack.
Or like,
Now,
That's cool.
you can
I
also
think that's
scrub
pretty
your
awesome.
stacks. So for instance, I'll just scrub across this stack. You see I can select between different photos, pick one up. Actually, let me just hide mail here, mid-drag. Got a little excited with my, with all of my stack action.
Oh no.
So I can just drag this out and drop it in just like that. And that's a quick look at stacks. Now, we've also brought some great new changes to the Finder. I'd like to show them to you now. Now, it starts with a new view. We all enjoy using icon view, list view, there's of course column view, but now we've added an all-new view called gallery view.
Oh,
has a big preview up top, a set of thumbnails along the bottom. It makes it easy to preview images, video, presentations, documents, spreadsheets, PDFs, and of course with images, sometimes you want to know more detail about, for instance, how they were captured. And now the new sidebar in Mojave really helps because it now supports full metadata. So you can see around your photo the camera you took the photo on, the kind of lens, the aperture settings, and so forth. It's really handy. And you'll notice also along the bottom, there's this new area called Quick Actions.
Kim, we gotta get
Quick
you on
actions that you
TweetDeck.
act on the current photo. So for instance, if I have a photo like this, and I want to
then you
edit
can look
it,
at everything
I don't have
like
to
this
open it and
and
go over to a
multiple
new app.
streams.
I can rotate it right
That
here
is cool.
inside
That is cool.
the Finder. It's really
Afterward.
powerful.
Yeah.
Now,
Do
this
it.
sidebar
Or
is
during
available in
work,
other views of the
after this.
Finder.
Yes.
So for instance, I'm just going to bring up the preview pane here, and I'm going to do a multi-selection of a PDF as well as several images. And you'll notice that the Quick Actions area is contextual. So it shows me Create PDF as an option. I'm going to click Create PDF, and it's going to assemble all of these photos into a PDF just like that. But what's really great is these actions are also customizable. So you can create automator actions and assign them to buttons here inside of Finder. So you'll notice that now that I have this PDF selected, I have an option to run a custom automator action that I've created called Watermark PDF. When I click it, my custom action runs, and my document is watermarked.
Wait, how does it know where your watermark?
Just
where
like
did
that.
Watermark come from?
And those are some quick enhancements.
I probably just
Finder.
upload it.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Now, a tool that I think many of us love when working with files is Quick Look. And now in Mojave, we've made Quick Look more powerful than ever by integrating markup. Let me show you how it works. So you see down here, I have a permission slip in its PDF document. I'm just going to tap spacebar to quick look it. And you notice now I have the option to invoke markup. I click, and now I have access to my markup tools, including my ability to sign this document. I can just drag out my signature like this.
I mean, you can already do all this in preview.
And I'm done. Now, This works for all kinds of files. So for instance, with images, I can
Spacebar
rotate
preview
and
is by
crop.
far the best thing about Mac.
And with video, I can even trim right here inside of Quick Look. That's a quick look at Quick Look. Next, I want to talk about how we capture content on our Mac, because one of the tools I think many of us use all the time is screenshots. And we've made screenshots more powerful than ever in Mojave. So let's take a look here at a web page, and I'm just going to take a screenshot in the traditional way. I'm going to screenshot a selection of the page, and I want you to watch what happens in the lower right. I get a thumbnail instantly of that screenshot. And when I double-click in, I get an accelerated workflow right into markup, where I have access to all of my tools. So for instance, if I want to create the magnification here, I can just drag that out, magnify. It's that easy. But now we've also made it easier to access a variety of tools. So when I bring up my screenshotting, you see I have presented with this HUD that tells me I could capture the entire screen, a selected window or selection, but we've also added screen capture for video right into screenshotting. Let me show you how that works. So I'm going to go to a web page here that has an animation running. I'm going to bring up my screenshotting tools and say to record the selected area.
But does it record with sound? That's the other question.
Selection here.
Probably not.
Okay, and I'm recording just like that. Of course, I can manipulate the app, so all be reflected in my recording. And when I'm done, I can click the stop button right up here. And now you notice I have this thumbnail in the lower right. Well, I can actually pick this up and drag it into a new space and incorporate it right into a document, just like that. Now, we further enhance the way you capture content, and that brings me to continuity.
There we go.
So Mac users love continuity for the way it lets us work across our devices with things like AirDrop, or the ability to unlock your Mac using your Apple Watch. When it comes to capturing content, we all walk around with one of the best content capture devices in the world in our pockets, our phones. And so we wanted to take advantage of continuity to bring that to the Mac with a feature we call Continuity Camera. Let me show you how it works.
Like that alliteration.
So here in my keynote presentation, I have a space that's just waiting for a new photo. And I have my phone right here. Well, when I select this object, I can choose to take a photo. And I want you to watch what happens when I select this to my phone.
Siren going on in the
It
stream.
automatically, immediately lights up, ready to take a photo. So I can take one like this. And when I do, I can select Use Photo, and it appears directly in my document. Isn't that cool?
I mean,
Now, this works as well for scanning documents.
Document,
So here I have a place where I could use a scan. Once again, I'm going to select from the menu, and this time Scan Document. Again, my camera lights up, this time right in my document scanner. I just scan like this. I can save it.
I like how it
my
flattens
scan
everything out.
goes immediately.
It's pretty smart.
And I think I forgot to push the
Does
save
Apple
button.
have
Sorry
the
about that.
feature where you can scan?
There you
like,
go.
business
Appears
cards
immediately in my document. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no longer do you have to
So
use
just
QR
like that,
codes to-
photos, stills, and even capture video. And this is a quick look at some great new features in Mojave.
That's it.
Next, I'd like to turn to apps. We are bringing news to the Mac. Now, news has all of the
Are you
stories
bringing
you've
voice
come to
memos?
expect from news on iOS, and they look amazing on Mac display. You get top stories picked by our editors,
And then we're bringing
trending
news
stories
to the stock apps
personalized for
on
you
your
and
Mac.
not for me. And
We decided to just do it all at once.
you also get this great new sidebar where you can drill in and jump right to the topics and channels you follow. News is going to be great. We also have
to the
stocks
news app.
coming to the Mac.
To the stock
You
app
get your
on
stock
your Mac.
prices combined with high-quality business
Now
news.
push it
It's
to your
delivered
watch.
from Apple News. It shows you your
So that
watch
you can
list
walk
with
the
your
talkie.
prices on the left, you can
Actually,
drill into this more
We called
information.
it.
And of course,
We're that good.
great news. We're also bringing voice.
Oh my
God! Popular voice recorder on iOS.
I win.
And so many of us use it to capture music recordings or lectures. And now that voice memos syncs via iCloud to your Mac, you can take those recordings that you make and, for instance, drag them right into GarageBand as the foundation for a song.
GarageBand still?
Finally,
Oh yeah, dude.
thrilled to announce Home is coming to the Mac as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I should listen
You
now.
have all of your accessories here. You can run your scenes as well as monitor your video cameras. And, of course, with Siri, you can command your home with your voice. So those are four great new apps coming to Mojave. Next, I'd like to talk about security
That's all I'm
and
gonna say.
privacy.
Here we go.
One of the reasons that people choose Apple products is because of our commitment to security and privacy. And we believe that your private data should remain private. Now, not because you've done something wrong or that you have something to hide, but because there can be a lot of sensitive data on your devices, and we think you should be in control of who sees it.
App usage and
Now, to begin, we protect your information on your devices using state-of-the-art hardware and software. And this year, we're adding greater protections about how apps can access that information. Today, Apple devices check in with you before granting an app access to information like your location. You can tell because you'll see an alert just like this one. And macOS already provides API-level protections for things like contacts, photos, calendar, and reminders. But now in Mojave, we're extending these protections to include your camera and your microphone, as well as protecting sensitive parts of your file system, like your mail database, your message history, and your backups. And all of this is protected by default for any app that you run on the system. Important protection. Next, I want to turn to some great enhancements to Safari. Safari works really hard to protect
Now I tune out.
and this year it's working even harder. Last year, we introduced intelligent tracking prevention to dramatically reduce the ability for apps to track you across websites using cookies. This is the kind of thing where you look at a product on one site, and you move to another site, and somehow this is just following you wherever you go. Well, we've all seen these like buttons and share buttons, and these comment fields. Well, it turns out these can be used to track you, whether you click on them or not. And so this year, we are shutting that down. Now, if you do want to interact with one of these, or one of these apps tries to access that information, you'll get this, and you can decide to keep your information private. Now, next, let's talk about fingerprinting. You know, data companies are clever and relentless. And in addition to cookies, they use another method called fingerprinting. And here's how it works. Just like you can be identified by a fingerprint, it turns out that when you browse the web, your device can be identified by a unique set of characteristics, like its configuration, its fonts that you have installed, and the plugins that you might have on the device. And these data companies can use this set of characteristics to construct a unique fingerprint to track your device from site to site. With Mojave, we're making it much harder for trackers to create a unique fingerprint. We're presenting web pages with only a simplified system configuration. We show them only built-in fonts. And legacy plugins are no longer supported, so those can't contribute to a fingerprint. And as a result, your Mac will look more like everyone else's Mac, and it will be dramatically more difficult for data companies to uniquely identify your device and track you. Now, we're bringing all of these new protections to Safari on both Mojave and iOS 12. Next, let's talk about the Mac App Store. And to do that, I'd like to invite to the stage Ann Ty, our product marketing manager for the App Store.
That's a name.
I know.
Anti-App Store.
Last year, we launched a completely redesigned App Store on iOS.
Oh, I can't see. Wait, I can't see her.
Every day, we celebrate apps, games, and developers.
The opacity level.
We've written
on
more
her
than
bangs is,
4,000 stories for the New Today tab, and hundreds of them have each been read by more than 1 million people. The response has been incredible, and we've learned a lot. We've got a bunch of great new features coming later this year that we'll cover in sessions. This year, we are turning our attention to the Mac App Store.
Hey.
Look at that one guy's excited.
Since it launched in 2011, it's changed the way we download and install software for Mac, making it easy with one click.
My legs were falling.
It's the
I know,
biggest
I have to
catalog
keep
of Mac
Maybe
apps
get some
in
pads
the world.
in here for.
It's also a
the
trusted
stadium
and
pads.
safe place to download software, and trusting where you get your apps from has become more important
a few
than
months
ever.
ago that Twitter
Developers can
officially stopped
distribute
supporting
their apps to
Mac app through the
155
Mac App Store,
countries
'cause
and
there's
get
nobody
worldwide
uses
payment
it.
processing, and it offers seamless
Like
software
yelling into a giant
updates
empty
from one
warehouse.
click. This adds up to a great experience for our users.
If
We've spent a
Twitter's
lot
not
of time
willing to
thinking
put like
about
dev,
what people do on their Macs
resources into their
and
app, I
wanted
don't
to
think
create a
anybody
place
is.
organized around those themes. So we've redesigned an all-new Mac App Store from the ground up, and we're thrilled to show it to you now. It's got a beautiful UI that should feel familiar, but new, and designed first and foremost to be a great Mac app. Starting with the new Discover tab, where each week you can find in-depth editorial about the best Mac
looks a lot
apps,
better than how it used to
stories, and collections, and see what's most popular
Biggest
with
problem
top
too is
charts.
that everybody's moving to
Here's
web
a
apps,
story about musician and founder Kareem Morsi.
and no one
Learn about
is
how he
downloading
uses
hard apps
his
on
app,
their
DJ Pro
computer
2,
anymore.
and get inspiration for your own set. Helpful videos autoplay so you can see what apps are capable of before downloading
This is
them.
basically what they did to the iOS app
Visit
store,
the
like,
all-new Create,
2 years ago.
Work, Play, and Develop tabs,
It's a
where
little
you'll
bit, like,
find
too-
helpful recommendations and expertise
but also like
around
very
each
boxy
theme.
in the sense that like
Here's the
it looks
Create
like
tab,
her
where you can
arms come
find
out of the
apps
top
that
of the
bring
square.
your
like there's
artistic
no
ideas to life.
There's no like
These tabs will also help you make the most of apps you might already have.
Our
The tips and
conversations
tutorials
devolved
even
from
the most expert users will
conversation
find
to
useful.
fashion and eyebrows.
The Work,
if you're gonna put it out there,
and Develop tabs share the same beautiful design, and you can still browse by category on the Categories tab.
I like the color.
We've redesigned product pages too, bringing many features over from iOS based on our learnings there. It has more useful information, like video previews, available on the Mac App Store for the first time, an app's rank if it's charting, and if it's been named Editor's Choice. Ratings and reviews are now front and center. And these
Actually,
are
it
so
looks like
important
Steam
for app discovery.
with a little Mac
So we're
makeover.
introducing a ratings and review API for Mac apps. Now it'll be easier than ever for people to leave feedback. We're really excited about the all-new Mac App Store. We've talked to some developers already, and they're really excited too. Like Microsoft, who will bring Office 365 to the Mac App Store later this year. And Adobe is bringing Lightroom CC. Panic is bringing Transmit. And Barebones is bringing BB Edit. And many more great names are coming to the all-new Mac App Store too. We can't wait for you to check out the new Mac App Store. Now, I'll hand it back to Craig.
So we think the Mac App Store is going to inspire whole new generations of apps. And so we want to talk about some of the technologies that will be behind some of that next generation. We spoke earlier about ARKit. I want to talk about 2 more. And let's start with Metal. Now, Metal is the technology to get the highest performance graphics and computation from graphics processors. Metal was designed for modern GPUs. It's incredibly efficient. And that enables amazing console-level games like Fortnite from Epic to run great for the first time on mobile. But Metal also enables these games to scale to take full advantage of modern Macs. In fact, across iOS and the Mac, there are over 1 billion Metal-enabled devices. And we're constantly making Metal better. To bring the highest GPU performance and reach of all Macs, we've recently added support for external GPUs. And this is powered by Metal. And the results are truly mind-boggling. For instance, running a filter in DaVinci Resolve, look at how it scales on the incredibly fast iMac Pro as you add up to 4 eGPUs. Now, the results are even more staggering when you take a 13-inch MacBook Pro and add eGPUs to it, achieving up to 8.5 times speed up. It's pretty awesome.
What's nice is you can just unplug it.
Now, eGPUs also enable Macs to achieve all new levels of performance and realism in 3D rendering and gaming. Now, this beautiful forest you see here, this isn't a video capture. This is from Unity's new Book of the Dead interactive demo, and it's being rendered live right now on a MacBook with an eGPU powering this display. I mean, doesn't this look amazing? Now, of course, because this is rendered live, we can check what's up ahead. So let's start walking. Now, Unity is using Metal's unified graphics and compute to generate real-time lighting and complex post-processing effects. So cool. And that's all rendered live on a MacBook running with an eGPU. It's pretty great. Now, another place where we're doing incredible acceleration with Metal is in machine learning.
Battery life left.
Today, ML specialists usually use one of these third-party libraries to train their models using servers. And now it turns out we can accelerate tools like this with our new Metal Performance shaders. We're seeing speed-ups of up to 20 times in using the GPU with Metal instead of CPU-based training. And while speeding these tools up is great, we actually think there's a better way.
Gotta get one of those dongles.
You need a dongle.
That's training on the Mac that we already have using a great new tool we call CreateML. Now, CreateML is designed to let you train without being a machine learning expert. You can train vision and natural language models. You can bring your own custom data, and it's really easy to use because it's all built in Swift. In fact, you can use Xcode playgrounds to train your model. Just drag one in. Your training set, you can drag in your test set as well. And the training is all GPU accelerated, so it's incredibly fast. Now, as an example, we worked with Memrise, they're a developer who uses their camera to identify objects and speak them in multiple languages. And in the past, they would train their model with 20,000 images, and it would take them 24 hours to do so. Well, now, with CreateML, they can train that same model in 48 minutes on a MacBook Pro. And on an iMac Pro, it's just 18 minutes. And what's even more incredible is that model, in the past for them, was 90 megabytes, and now it's just 3 megabytes. It's a huge difference. Now, we also are making models run much faster on device using CoreML2. Now, CoreML is our technology for high-performance on-device machine learning, and now it's better than ever. It's 30% faster in on-device processing using a technique called batch predictions. And you can reduce your model size by up to 75% using quantization. And so that's CoreML and CreateML. You no longer have to be an expert in machine learning to build those techniques into your app. Now, these technologies are redefining what's possible in apps. And they're common not just to Mac OS, but also to iOS. And the fact that the Mac and iOS share so much technology has led people almost every year to keep asking us the question, Are you merging iOS and
my
macOS?
God.
So I'd like to take a moment to briefly address this question. No. Of course not.
These are follow-up from Tim Cook's comments.
We love the Mac because and we love Mac OS because it's explicitly created to the unique characteristics of Mac hardware, like the ergonomics of the keyboard and the trackpad, the flexibility in displays and storage, and because of the power it exposes, it makes the Mac able to accomplish almost anything. So we think that this question is actually coming from something else. You know, Mac users have access to a rich set of great native applications, apps that take full advantage of the power of Mac technologies. But Mac users also use apps based on other technologies. We routinely access web-based experiences like Netflix that build on WebKit, the standards-based web technology in Safari. And we also run sometimes cross-platform games built on technology like Metal. And all of these platforms enrich the Mac user's experience. But we think there's room for one more. And so we'd like to give you a sneak peek of a multi-year project we have going on. Because we see a huge opportunity for the Mac to tap into the world's most vital app ecosystem. It's called iOS. I think you might be familiar with it. Now, there are millions of iOS apps out there, and we think some of them would be absolutely great on the Mac. And Mac users would love to have them there. And from a technical standpoint, it's actually a really good fit because from day one, iOS and macOS have shared common foundations. But iOS devices and Mac devices, of course, are different. And the user interfaces are somewhat different, and so the frameworks underneath are as well. And that makes today porting an app from one to the other some work. Well, we wanted to make this much easier. And so we've taken some key frameworks from iOS and brought them to the Mac. And we've adapted them to specific Mac behaviors like use of trackpad and mouse, window resizing, integration of things like copy and paste and drag and drop into the system services on the Mac. Now, phase one of this effort is to test it on ourselves. So this year in macOS, we've taken some of our own iOS apps and we brought them to the Mac using this technologies to make sure it works well. You've actually heard about several of them earlier today. And it turns out they make fantastic Mac apps. And we were able to bring them to the Mac with very few code changes. Now, this is going to be coming to you developers next year. So you can easily bring your iOS apps to the Mac. And in the meantime, we hope you enjoy news, stocks, voice memos, and home in Mojave. Now, we're really excited about Mojave. From desktop, stacks, to Finder with gallery view, to enhance screenshots and markup, news and home on the Mac for the first time, stocks, and of course, the redesigned Mac App Store. And of course, there's even more. Like APFS now supports Fusion and hard drives, and Safari tabs can now have favicons if you want them there. And of course, group FaceTime. So that's macOS Mojave. I hope you like it. I'm going to hand it back to Tim. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Craig. Thank you, Craig. What a huge update to macOS, and what an extraordinary morning. We got started with iOS 12 with all new capabilities, including taking AR further than ever before, bringing Siri to any app with Siri shortcuts and screen time, and cool new communication features like Memoji and group FaceTime, and watchOS, now with walkie-talkie, activity competitions, new workouts, new Siri capabilities, and so much more. And Apple TV 4K, now with Dolby Atmos, some great new partnerships, and the ease of zero sign-on. And you're going to really love those new aerial screensavers. And macOS Mojave, with all new dark mode, great updates to desktop and Finder, enhanced privacy and security, and a completely redesigned Mac App Store. The updates will be available to our users this fall, and there will be developer betas for each of them after the keynote this morning. Thank you. Now, before we close, we wanted to celebrate you and the amazing work that you do. So we went out and talked to some of the most important people in your lives, the ones that know you the best. And we made a short video, and I'd love to run it for you now.
I don't have any idea at all how to create an app. I don't understand any of it.
Thank you.
Ask me another question.
My son is a developer at Robinhood.
My daughter Jyoti is a WWDC 2018 scholarship winner.
My brother started and founded Yelp.
Polio.
Timeless.
One drop.
Splitter critters. Homer. You gotta look at her.
My brother Derek created the app Refugees and Immigrants, the creative. The collective. Why did I say the creative?
At Christmas time, when most kids maybe would want skis or something, he wanted computer books. He stayed in his bedroom making games while the other kids were outside playing.
And when she's really doing the coding, almost always we have to tell my daughter to stop. But then my daughter would be like, just give me another 10 minutes. You know, I want to get this solved first.
When I watch him code, his eyes move in a weird way, and he's like totally focused. Even when my friends are over, I'd say, well, look at Christopher, look at him, and they'd go, wow.
We were like, okay, good luck. He started off in his small little one-bedroom apartment with next to nothing, and sacrificed eating a burger and just have ramen just so that he could, and I'm like, just buy the burger. And he's like, no, that's $3 that I could put towards the app.
Jeremy went out to build the first version of Yelp, and it was a total bust, total failure.
She tried really hard on a couple different titles, and you've never heard of them. And
you were gonna say
that's a really rough feeling.
That was definitely a low point for Jeremy, because it was like, hey, we got to retool and try again. What Jeremy did notice in the data was that people loved writing comments. And that was really the genesis of the second version of Yelp, which worked.
You have to be really okay with waking up to failure. And then at the end of a whole bunch of failures is something that's great.
Tessa didn't really think, I want to make an app. Tessa found a problem of food waste, which you could use the app to help to solve.
Emma's grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. She even forgot my daughter's birthday. So Emma tried to search for an app that would help, but she couldn't find it. So she said, you know, why don't we just do it ourselves?
My husband was a diabetic. That inspired Jeffrey to do something about diabetes. And it's an answer to a lot of people's prayers.
Jesse won the iPhone Game of the Year. I couldn't believe that he made it. I mean, to me, it was remarkable.
She pulled out her cell phone, and I saw his app on her phone, and I was like, trying not to forget.
For my wife, it's not just creating, it's really wanting to be a part of something big.
The one lesson that I learned from Jeremy every day is just that determination, tenacity, the focus. He foresaw the impact that the iPhone was going to have, and he bet everything on getting an app for it. And I think that it was one of the most important things that Yelp did.
I think he's made a big difference, and so do thousands of other people.
She wants to not just learn, also teach others, and it makes me really proud to see her blossom.
And as a parent, no better thing is there than your kids do what they want to do. Because it isn't how much money you've made, it's really what changes you've left behind. And she's hoping to leave a lot of change behind.
And his sacrifice. Like, I'm still alive.
It's way bigger than the Apple Event Center.
I love that video. And I'm pleased that some of the developers are in the audience this morning. Their stories are great examples of all of your passion and your creativity. We love the work you do, and the impact that it has on the world. It inspires all of us at Apple deeply every day. On behalf of everyone at Apple, thank you. And I'd also like to thank everyone at Apple who made today possible. Days like this only come from years of effort and hard work and great sacrifice. And so I thank them and their families. Let's have an incredible week together. Thank you.
And thank you everybody on Twitch for tuning in to our live stream of the conference. If you want to find more information about what is coming out today and our take on all of the features that Apple released, go to digitaltrends.com and follow these lovely people on Twitter. Marie, what's your Twitter handle?
MarieYR.pg.
Yep. Luke?
LA Larson 11.
And Kim?
At Kim Dog.
Cool. Again, thanks for tuning in. We're live on Twitch a couple more times this week. Tomorrow from 3 to 5 p.m. We'll be gaming. I think we're gaming Vampire. And then Wednesday, I don't know if we have a stream set up yet, but it's our lunch game break time. And then our podcast on Thursday and Friday between the streams and Trends with Benefits. Tune in. Right now, we're going to raid the Penny Arcade channel with those of you who are sticking around on our channel. And we'll be pushing everybody over to that channel here shortly. Thanks again for tuning in.
See ya.
Bye. Well then.